It feels great to be back here up on a Sunday afternoon and evening for a classic pay-per-view watch-along. Sorry about my long February absence. We are back at it again tonight, finally. With a WrestleMania watch-along, we have decided to do WrestleMania 21. This one has been requested a bunch of times by you guys, and I think I jumped on it when we were talking this week about which ones to do when I thought about the show and just how ridiculously stacked it is. And there's really not very many weak parts of this show. There's a couple, but not many. We do have a sumo wrestling match that we're going to have to deal with. But other than that, this is a pretty loaded card with Ray and Eddie and Shawn and Angle and Taker and Orton and Batista and Cena getting on the map. You had the Hogan stuff, the Piper and Austin stuff. It was a great pay-per-view, and it was right here in L.A. I wish I could have been at this one back in 2005, but I was living on the East Coast. I remember watching this on pay-per-view, ordering it in my apartment, and yeah, it's a pretty memorable show. I'm already having streaming interruptions here, I think. Are we good? Can you guys see me? Yeah. Hopefully we're okay. Don't want that to happen tonight. Did we have any interruptions? I think we're good. Looks like I can be seen and heard. Good to see everybody here as well in the chat. We'll sit around here and chat for just a couple of minutes to make sure I'm not going to have any interruptions, but my little red light went on there, which is usually an indicator that something bad is going on. But we look to be okay, and welcome back. Glad you guys are here. Let me say hi to Tatanani, Sam, WWE fan forever. Oh, We Are Pro Wrestling is in the house. That makes me happy. To give us some WrestleMania 21 stats, attendance 20,193 is a sellout. Live gate just over 2 million and over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Third most bought WrestleMania in the pay-per-view era behind 23 and 28. That's interesting. I didn't know those were the leaders. I guess 28 I could understand maybe because of The Rock, but 23 is kind of a shocker. Sam is in the house as well. Trey Williams, Rodrigo, Mezzo, Trayvon, Wilbert, Deshaun, what's up? Jet the Hawk, Victor Colon, and Divine Ricks all in the house as well. Ace Shock, Surge, and George Morris. What's up, dude? Appreciate that $5 from you. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? And how is Bub? Did you hear about Scott Hall? My cat Sawyer was vomiting this morning and now is aggravating Strudel. All right, good for him, I guess. Yes, unfortunately did hear about Scott Hall. Does not sound good at all. Only physical picture I have of Scott Hall is on a DVD, so I stuck that DVD behind us there as a tribute. We also do have WrestleMania 21 on DVD as well, but we're going to be watching on the Peacock. And yeah, really hoping for the best for Scott Hall. Apparently he went in for hip replacement surgery, had some complications, some blood clots, and apparently had several heart attacks during the procedure and is currently on life support. That's horrible. So wishing Scott Hall the best. I put a picture of he and I up on Twitter earlier today when I met him on the Jericho Cruise. He was great. He was hilarious. He was fun. I think all of us are very proud of him, how he turned his life around after, being about as rock bottom as one can get and being able to extend his life the way he did, hooking up with DDP and, getting himself clean and sober and on the yoga and all that stuff. He added, many, many years to his life. And many argue he shouldn't even be here now, based on the life he led. But he really cleaned himself up, got himself into the Hall of Fame, and did his best just to, clean up his life. And I think he did a great job of that. So I'm sorry to hear that this has happened to him, especially when it's just complications from a surgery that's not supposed to be life-threatening. I mean, a hip replacement is a big deal, but those are relatively routine. And for something like that to go down is really sad. Chris Candido passed away maybe of something similar. Now, Hall is in much worse shape. He's had heart issues before. He's done a lot of damage to his body with drugs and alcohol. And I know Chris Candido had something similar with him where he just went under the knife to fix a leg issue or a broken bone or something, and then complications led to his death. So it's really sad. We'll keep our eye on the Scott Hall situation. Hopefully he pulls through. Really, really hope he does. It's not been a good 48 hours for wrestling with Big E suffering the broken neck on Friday. And now this news about Scott Hall. Very, very sad. But George, thanks again. And yeah, Bub is doing fantastic. He might even make an appearance. He's wandering all over the house these days. He's a really, really good amount of strength, and he's really recovered well, even though he has a couple of diseases that are going to take his life. There's no coming back from them. But he's made a great turnaround, at least for right now, and he seems to be doing well. So, that makes me happy, and any extra time I can get with him. Good to see David Brown, Barry MK in the house, Big J, Andy, Trayvon. I'm not sure if I got you, Trekopedia. We've got Andy, I think I got you, Ryuichiro, WWE fan. David is in the house as well. Jay and Ben and Chris Ludecki with the $5. Appreciate that, dude. Hope you've been doing well, Greg. Glad we have daylight after 5 p.m. now. Me too. Also, who would have thought this would be Eddie's last Mania? Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, hell, the next year he went into the WWE Hall of Fame because he would pass away in November of this year. Super, super sad. And yeah, a lot of people hate daylight savings time. Everybody hates losing the hour of sleep, but I really enjoy the extended daylight, especially in the summer. Sunshine adds years to your life. You want to get as much of it as possible, and it's never fun, especially for someone like me who works nights and has kind of an opposite schedule from the rest of the world. I'm up super late, so I tend to sleep a little bit later in the day, just to get my 7 or 8 hours in or whatever that I need. And when it gets dark at 5 o'clock, in the wintertime, it doesn't give you a whole lot of daylight. And I live here in California where sunlight is everywhere. So I'm very happy that our days are getting extended now. And I'm ready for spring and summer, man. I do not like winter. Even though here in San Diego, it doesn't even get any colder than 50 degrees. I don't like it. I want sun. I want warm. Yeah, I heard about William Hurt as well. That's a shame. Actor who passed away. Good to see Ian in here as well. Donny Patty. Regina. Right on. Everybody, Crash, anybody else that I missed, glad you're here. I don't want to waste too much time because this WrestleMania is 3 hours and 45 minutes long, and we need to get going on that because tomorrow's Monday. Many of you might have to work, so I wanted to make sure we can wrap up, in a solid 4 hours here. As you guys know, or if you are new to the live or the watch-alongs, how we do this is we follow along on Peacock. You're welcome to follow along on the WWE Network overseas or on a DVD if you wish. However, if you might not match up with us perfectly. So if you have access to Peacock, go to the WrestleMania tab on the WWE section, and you're going to look for, of course, Season 21, Episode 1, and according to Peacock, this show is 3 hours, 45 minutes, and 14 seconds long. So here in just a couple of minutes, we will all hit play together. When we do, the timer above my head will start moving. So if any of us have any issues, including myself, the timer never stops moving. So if my internet stops or if the stream, takes a shit or something like that, all we have to do is get back to the pay-per-view and match the timer above my head, and we can all do that. So if you need to pause, if you need to take a break, or if you have any issues as well, just match the timer. We will all match the timer, and that's kind of how we make this work, and it's worked well, now that we've been doing this for about a year. I think I started it last year around Rumble and WrestleMania time, and we have gotten a lot of pay-per-views done. So this continues to be fun. I'm excited for it, and I think you guys are going to like this one as well because a lot of people were happy that I chose WrestleMania 21. So during this time of me flapping my gums, hopefully you guys have got your peacocks pulled up. Season 21, Episode 1 on WrestleMania 21, and I'm going to crack open my nice, fresh, delicious Stella. And cheers to you on this Sunday evening. Only 5 o'clock in the afternoon for me. It might be 8 p.m. if you are watching on the East Coast, depending on where you are. So we'll get going here in 1 minute. Cheers to you. I hate this paper around the bottle. All right, little cold ones. Frosty beverage. We are all set and ready. Got a little special gummy for later. And we are ready to rock and roll. James Rosano and Strange Pete want to say hi to you guys as well. And MJ Parker, SCW Wrestling Channel. What's going on, man? Good to see you. I just sent in a video to him to do for a little small collaboration. Let me know, SCW, when that video hits your channel, and I'll take a look at it and even share it. Let me see. Kurt Angle's biggest paycheck was against HBK in this match. Wow, interesting fact. I suppose that makes sense, though. One of my favorite WrestleMania matches ever. I'm really excited to watch HBK and Shawn on the show. It's going to be great. Right on. Okay, glad everybody is here. We should probably do this now. That way, since it's 3 hours and 45 minutes and it's quarter after, we'll be wrapping up right at the top of the hour. Yeah, I guess at about midnight if you're on the East Coast. So we better get going. Let me get my hands on the trigger here because I do the double computer thing. So I've got to hit play on Peacock and I got to hit start on the timer with 2 different mouses. So let me just get myself in position. There we go. Finger on the timer and finger on the play. Okay, hopefully you guys are ready as well. We'll do a countdown from 3, 3, 2, 1, play, and we'll do that right now. You guys ready to rock? Here we go. From a countdown of 3. 3, 2, 1, play. Rock and roll. Perfect. Thought I was going to be a little rusty. It's been a few weeks since I've done the double play button or the double mouse. Oh, Lillian's doing it. I haven't sat down and watched this show in so long. Who went into the Hall of Fame the night before? It was Hogan and Piper, right? That was that class. And Lillian's going to do America the Beautiful. I do like that they do this instead of the national anthem. I've only been to 2 WWE shows at Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena or whatever the hell it is. I was at Survivor Series in 2018, and then I was also at the first ever SmackDown when they moved to Fox. That was when Brock Lesnar beat Kofi, Cain Velasquez came out, and that whole deal. So this is pretty simple. They don't have some celebrity. Lillian's got some backup singers, but she's great. She would always do the anthem at all the live events. I've heard in person Lillian sing the anthem 24 times, probably. Yeah, the Hall of Fame class, I'm sure, was loaded because the year before was when they brought it back in 2004, and they hadn't done it for a while. So they had to make up a lot of ground with a lot of legends in 04, and then they backed it up in 05. And I think 05 was basically the beginning of that setup, actually having it in the arena instead of where they were doing it before, in the banquet places. Yeah, million buys for this show. So is this the year that Orndorff, Hogan, maybe Mean Gene, did they all go in this year? And Piper? Yeah, Orndorff left his Hall of Fame plaque in his hotel. It's worthless. It'd be cool for a fan to have, but for a wrestler, I don't need that piece of shit. Yeah, man, 2005, we were still kind of... A lot was going on over there with the troops and stuff. Jimmy Anderson, good to see you, man. Appreciate you dropping in with Super Chat, and welcome back all the way from Sweden. Why do I always think it's Switzerland? I don't think it is. Yeah, this was an interesting promo from Piper. Him and Austin have an interesting history. They actually had a little beef, I believe, right when Piper died, which was kind of sad that it ended like that. But yeah, this was interesting because it was... 2 of the best talkers ever, and they never really had a run-in before because Piper was in WCW during Austin's rise in WWE. Okay, so yeah, thank you, We Are Pro Wrestling. Whole bunch of WrestleMania 1 going on with Hogan, Piper, Ace, Orndorff, Jimmy Hart, Volkov, and Sheik. Yeah, everybody listed there was involved in WrestleMania 1. All right, they lifting the curtain. These were really good promo packages for WrestleMania. I love the way they did the Pulp Fiction and the Forrest Gump and all the movies. Braveheart. Oh, yeah, and then Christy Hemme did Harry Met Sally. When Harry Met Sally, I forgot about that. Oh, they did Basic Instinct too? Oh, with Stacy? Oh, Lord, I forgot about all these. It was weird to see The Undertaker doing that because he had just gone back to the Dead Man the previous year. Oh, my God, it was Angle and Hemme did that. I don't feel like this is the right music. I feel like they've dubbed this. I feel like if I was watching the DVD... Oh, I didn't realize Eddie is Vincent Vega. That's great. I feel like if I put the DVD in, there would be a different song playing right now. I don't know why. Oh, the DVD extras has extras of all these skits? Yeah, I got the DVD right here. Oh, wow. I wonder where that disc is then. Disc 2 is missing on this. And in its place, I have my own recorded version of WrestleMania 19. It says pay-per-view broadcast right here. That means I taped it off pay-per-view. So there must be disc 2 to this set missing somewhere, and I got a random WrestleMania 19 in here. But I still got the little card that comes with this thing. Oh, and it's got the 2005 pay-per-view schedule on the back. All right, and this is Austin doing the Gladiator thing or whatever. A lot of these movies I never saw. I never saw Braveheart, never saw Gladiator. Those really aren't my style of movies. Don't like them. Remove your helmet. Look at the shape Austin is in. You got to wrestle at this show, man. The master of the middle finger. Love it. What's up, Mike Witt? Good to see you. Transferring heat as well. Spaz Phoenix, thank you so much, dude, for that $10. It's almost impossible to defend WWE these days, but the AEW sexuals that are blaming WWE for Big E injury, well, they shouldn't have moved him to SmackDown, need to tighten their helmets. I don't think that's limited to AEW people. I'm sure you can find the equal amount of stupidity on the WWE side because fans just look to blame everybody. Look at how they were acting towards fucking Nia Jackson shit. There's Austin. Look, who was responsible for that guy right there's neck injury? One of the best, most well-trained professionals this business has ever seen. Accidents happen. I don't believe that's limited to AEW people at all. Don't even front, Spaz. Don't be fronting. Don't pretend one side's smarter than the other. They're not. Not at all. Not even close. All right, WrestleMania. Did Eugene have a match on this show? What did Eugene do? I feel like he was out there doing something. All right, here we go. Fireworks. Staples Center is a big arena for it just to be like a basketball arena. The fact that they were able to still put 20,000 people in here with a pro wrestling set and a stage and all that, it's pretty impressive. This doesn't sound like the right music to me. God, I hate Peacock. That just does not sound like the music they use for WrestleMania. Help me confirm this. Who's on the call? Okay, Lawler and Ross, of course. So we had brand splits and shit. Are we going to have Cole and Taz? What was going on at this time? Yeah, they've definitely dubbed this music because Lawler and Ross's voice are very muffled. Fucking editing, man. There's Carlos Cabrera and Hugo Savinovich. They're both gone, right? Carlos, I think, just left WWE last few weeks. And Hugo, he's always been sketchy, man. There's Cole and Taz. Is that Billy Corgan right behind Cole? Right there? In the hat? Anthony Kiedis right between them? Holy shit. We got some smashing. We got pumpkins and chili peppers back there. You got every vegetable behind Michael Cole and Taz. Oh, yeah. There's that low rider. Yeah, I got the same exact car. I drive it to work. Same one. What an opener, though, you know? The South Side. Oh, are they tag champs? That's right. This seemed to happen a lot. Somebody just pointed out to me not long ago when we were trying to think about stuff. Shawn and Cena were tag champs at WrestleMania 23. Is that right? That's crazy, son. I was a little bit old school with the tag team titles. I mean, there was a time where this stuff would not be normal for tag team champions to feud with each other or be reluctant. You know, usually like in the 80s and stuff and even the 70s and a good portion of the 90s, teams were teams, you know, and they didn't do too much they didn't do too much against each other unless it was a Royal Rumble or something like that, where that seemed to really start happening in like the late 90s, specifically maybe with like Austin and Shawn in like 97. You know, and then after that, it seemed like there was reluctant tag team partners all the time. Then Austin and Foley. And then the following year, it was like Austin and Taker because they were feuding. And I never liked that. And this feud would continue. I mean, what the hell? Help me out. What did they do after this? These guys were tag champs. They're wrestling here. I think Ray wins this, although I can't remember. But they would carry this feud into SummerSlam in the ladder match with Dominic on the line. So when did they drop these titles? Who beat them? Help me. I don't remember any of this stuff. We got Jimmy dropping in more super duper chats. Thanks, dude. Let's be honest. You got your homemade adult videos on that disc. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. Homemade is right. Well, this should be a freaking good match, man. Boy, I remember where I was living in Wilmington, 2005. I remember the apartment I was living in when I watched this show because, kind of gnarly, after I moved out of this apartment, I guess it would have been 2 or 3 years later, the downstairs neighbor, I guess, left his stove on, burned the apartment down, and killed the person that moved into the apartment that I lived in. That's the apartment I was in when I was watching this show. So I was lucky. I would like to think that if I was there, I'd get my ass out of there, but whoever lived there did not make it. Dodged a bullet, did Greg. I like Ray's gear. I don't think I've watched this match in 15 years. I don't know when the last time I ever went back and watched WrestleMania 21 straight through. Probably never, but I have watched the Angle and Shawn match a couple times. God, these guys were still in such good shape. I mean, Eddie was just months away from passing away, but look at the shape he's in. Everybody's as quick as ever. Morrison and who the hell is Mersley? Oh, Mercury, I bet, is what you mean. Morrison and Mercury. Eminem, yes. Thank you. Oh, yeah, now I see it. Eminem. Basham Brothers. Forgot about them. I mean, I might be in the minority, but I actually thought the Bashams with, Shaniqua looked good. I thought that was a good-looking presentation on all three of them. Especially that Shaniqua. She was something else. It's like an early version of Jade Cargill or Charlotte or some, just muscular specimen. Or China, maybe. Oh. I think of all the really well-built women, I'd probably say Beth Phoenix was the best worker, maybe. Out of the Chynas and the Shaniquas and the Jade Cargills, and who else is just stacked muscles and shit. I always thought Beth was real good. Michael Cole said that sometimes Eddie Guerrero doesn't follow all the rules. I still, as much as I'm sure I'm going to love this match, as much as I love the ladder match, despite Vicky fucking up, I don't know if anything can touch that whole Halloween Havoc 97 deal that they had. That was like 12 or 13-minute match. It was pretty short, but my God, it was good. That was Ray when Ray was so small and young and fast and was doing things that defied laws of physics. Shaniqua, the same one that played Harlem Heat's sister in WCW. I don't remember who that was, but no, I don't think so, because WCW was already well done by the time Shaniqua came around, and she was in Tough Enough. So that would have made her a little too young, but I don't think so. Oh. What do they got? Little sandbags holding down that carpet? Look at that. It's low-tech shit right there. Yeah, I know Bashams. I remember that Bashams came from developmental. Well, one of them didn't have a bald head. I think they just put them together as a tag team when they moved them to the main roster. Pretty sure they were feuding at one point, or they were opponents, which happens a lot. A lot of guys who come in to be an opponent will eventually team with guys in a lot of ways. But yeah, the Bashams, I don't know. It's a shame. Just one of many things WWE probably fucked up. Yeah, Andy Lynn, I saw just before we went live here, I saw my phone told me the Tom Brady news because he already kind of retired. But then almost immediately after him retiring, they kind of reported that he hasn't really made his mind up yet. So I guess we were like, oh, I guess we're not going to know. And then today it was announced that he's coming back. Yeah, Adam, we are all well aware of Scott Hall. It's a shame. I tweeted plenty about it today. And by the way, too, I really appreciate people who DM me like wrestling news because a lot of times I'm not aware of it. And sometimes you guys can tell me everything. So I certainly don't want to be critical of anybody taking time out of their way to DM me some news. But I do ask before you do that, check and see if I've tweeted about it. Because I get so many DMs telling me about something that I've made like 5 tweets about. I'm like, oh, I know. I'm aware of it. All you got to do is look at my Twitter and see it. So that's my only request. If you're going to send me news, make sure I haven't said anything about it first because chances are I already know, but chances are I don't. Sometimes you guys actually do inform me about stuff. All right, these gummies are pretty strong, so I'm going to bite this in half. That's a perfect half bite. Look at that. That's how you do it. These things are tough. They're not the best tasting things, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so I guess after they would drop the belts, that would make Eddie pull the pull the little deal that he did where he claimed Dominic was his. Very weird. Spaz, thanks for 5 more. Chicken nuggets would be more intimidating if we called them chunks of coward. Yeah, chunks of coward. I don't know how they would taste. What'd you have for lunch? Chunks of coward with ranch sauce. So we called I call Limp Biscuit the flaccid muffins. Here comes Ray. He's going to do a corkscrew. Yeah. I remember that spot. I mean, in terms of Ray physically, he doesn't look a whole lot less capable than he does today in this match. I mean, a hair slower, obviously, but man, Ray is fucking timeless. I remember at this time in Ray's life, this was 17 years ago, I remember thinking that Rey Mysterio's best in-ring days were behind him. He hadn't even won the world title yet. You know, but when you have a style like that, and I've been watching him at this point up about 10 years, around 95, I think, or early 96 was when I saw my first Rey Mysterio Jr. match. So a style like that, somebody who works like that, I was kind of thinking a 10-year career is all you're going to have. That was 17 years ago. Rey has a match this year at WrestleMania. Incredible. Fucking incredible. Ooh, big backbreaker. Ouch. Come on, Corderas. I was not aware of that, transferring heat. There was a three-way with Ray, Eddie, and Punk on the indie show? No shit. I know that Punk and Eddie worked when Eddie was let go. That probably was around the same time period. I didn't know Ray got in on one of those. That's awesome. When Ray come in? He came in 02. So, wow, that must have been 02 or 01 then, when Eddie was, or probably 01. Right after the buyout, I would assume. Oh, God. 619. I wasn't living here yet in San Diego, but it was funny during this time. My parents, their phone number, their home phone number was area code 619, obviously for San Diego. And it was right around the time that the 619, Eddie started doing the 619 and it got real popular. My mom had told me, hey, they're readjusting all of the area codes throughout the county of San Diego, and our area code is changing to 858. So now there's like 858, 760, and 619. All three of them are out here. So for the longest time, I had an 85 or a 619 number, but I don't anymore because of where I live in the county. But I was like, that sucks, man. I wanted my phone to be 619 because when I moved here, that would be awesome. But Three Amigos. I've actually only seen the movie The Three Amigos like one time. I didn't like it as much as other people liked it. Big frog splash. Oh, my God. And Ray got out of there. That was about as close as you can get to not getting hit. Ray's busted open his mouth. I always do worry about, like, when you're trying to roll out of the way of a splash or something. Like, if you roll too late, like, what if you try to get out of the way, but you don't get it out of the way in time, and then he just lands on you? You could break your neck. There's just so many ways to fucking die when you're in the ring. Like, if Ray would have waited a half a second longer to start moving, Eddie would have landed on his head. You got to have just unbelievable timing and instincts to do this. Oof. Now we're going to get a 619. He'll hit this one. Boom. Damn, Eddie sold it. Yeah, Three Amigos, I believe, was Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short. Oh. Oh, my God. Eddie countered the West Coast Pop into a gnar powerbomb. Ray bounced. Jesus. Yes, kicking back on a Sunday with like a beer and watching Eddie and Ray work a match, there's worse things to be doing. That's for sure. Trying to think of the great Eddie Guerrero matches I've seen live. I've seen a few. Oh. Yeah. Now help me out here. Last year we watched SummerSlam 05, right? Didn't we watch that show in a watch along? And so we would have watched ladder match. Is Eddie winless against Ray on pay-per-view? He is, right? Did he ever get over that hump or get that monkey off his back prior to his death? I don't think he did. Where's We Are Pro Wrestling? He'll not only tell us if I'm right, he'll give us the background. Oh, Steven Scott, in regards to Michaels versus Angle, do you think Sherry should have came down to the ring with Shawn and then turned on him? No. I think I was at some of these. Oh, they shook hands too. I love it. So that was before Eddie went full heel, I guess. Well, that's good. I was at some of the shows prior to WrestleMania during that build. And what Angle was doing on TV, I think, was just to build up the match with Shawn. Putting Sherry in there, you wouldn't have needed it, really. Those two guys, I don't want anything touching that beautiful match. Oh, is that the Bashams right there? Speaking of which, it is. Oh, yeah, here we go. The two champs. Is Triple H wearing, I'm sorry, is Ric Flair wearing eyeliner? What a joke. Not the two most beloved champions in history, huh? I am a much bigger fan of Triple H than I am of JBL. How many times have both champions just been guys with initials? Has that ever happened before?
You keep telling yourself you're good, and I'm sure after a while, somebody will believe you.
Not sure why Ric Flair's wearing eyeliner and what he's up to.
I am that good.
Yeah, why is he always carrying a beverage? There's nothing even in that thing.
Really?
Who drinks coffee out of a solo cup?
I guess we'll just have to wait till the end of the night and see who's still champion. Yes, we will.
All right, JBL. Flair woos Orlando. Oh, man. Thanks for that $5, Divine. If Eddie was alive, he would have had the perfect person. He would have been the perfect person to induct Ray into the Hall of Fame. Oh, of course. Oh, Adam Sandler and Rob Schneider, please. Eddie and Ray always had great chemistry in the ring. They did. They were fun to watch, man. When Ray goes in, I don't know who will induct him, man. Maybe Chavo. All right, this is Money in the Bank. All right. The very first one ever. Briefcase is normal looking. Doesn't look like a fucking toy. Painted green. All right, Jericho kicking things off. And here comes Jericho. Born and raised in Manhattan, New York. Oh, my God. I remember when they started referring to Jericho and Benoit being from Manhattan and Atlanta, fans were losing their minds over it. It was weird why WWE insisted on doing that, but they did. All right, here comes Benoit. Anytime you ever see any Benoit footage in WWE ever, it's usually a lot of it is from this match because they're talking about the first ever Money in the Bank and Edge and a lot of those situations. And it's kind of hard to hide Chris in that, but what can you do? Oh, yeah, Benoit's got a bunch of stitches. Wow, Christian. How many of these dudes are all elite in this match? 2 so far. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Tyson Tomko. Christian, how can you see in that? At this point in time, Christian and Edge were on separate brands. Because they're both heels here, right? I don't know if the Money in the Bank is played out. I mean, it kind of is, but I do like the Money in the Bank because it's been a fun pay-per-view. Oh, Shelton, of course, is in it. Wow, most of these guys are still active, at least so far. We'll see. I forgot who else is in it other than Edge. I really cannot remember. RVD's probably in this, too. Oh, this is an all Raw. Oh, okay. Interesting. Christian and Edge, I do think, had one tag team match where they did team up as heels, I think maybe on Raw one week. I was just wondering if why they weren't doing more with each other storyline-wise. Now, he's still technically babyface here, right? or is he heel now? Because I think the word is out about Lita by this point. Everybody knows. I think. But maybe he hadn't made the full-on turn yet. Oh, Kane, of course. Of course, Kane. Oh, Spaz. Thanks, dude. Love to see you do New Year's Revolution 2006 just for your real-time reaction to Viscera and Shelton's mom. I don't even know what that's referencing. I've blocked that pay-per-view out of my head. I never watched it that night. It's one of the only pay-per-views I've never seen, and when it got the bad reviews, I never even watched it after that either. So I don't... And it's something with the ECW title in a cage or something. That's all I know. So Viscera and Shelton's mom, yikes. I'm going to just not watch that ever. We'll have a lower audience number than we have right now. Deshaun Robinson, appreciate $5 from you, dude, as all of the Money in the Bank participants are in the aisleway now. Paul Heyman says, Bradshaw, the only reason why you're WWE champion this long is because Triple H didn't want to work Tuesdays. Classic line at One Night Stand, and a very, very true line. I mean, Triple H pretty much called the shots back then, so you could argue that JBL was only champion because Triple H allowed it. So, yeah, kind of. SCW favorite, one of your favorite Money in the Bank matches ever. I don't recall too many details about it, too many spots. I know Shelton does something kind of crazy. I don't know why I thought RVD was in this. But yeah, you would think Jericho or Edge or Christian would be the favorites in something like this. Jericho was credited for coming up with this concept. I like it a lot better than the Mimosa Mayhem match, that's for sure. They should have at least made that like a Screwdriver Mayhem match, and instead of champagne, use vodka, because champagne in a big vat is just going to go flat. It's going to lose all of its carbonation. It's going to taste like shit. The Screwdriver match, shit could sit there all day. All you got to do is stir it. It'll still be delicious. Jericho needs to take a bartending class. Fucking idiot. Spaz Phoenix, thanks for 10 more, dude. The indie that I go to, Destiny, had Ricochet vs. Ray vs. Justin Gabriel way back before I was actually aware of them. Watching it back, seeing big stars in smaller venues is great. Yeah, that's cool. I myself have seen a lot of guys before they hit it big. Edge is one of those guys. I remember seeing him in dark matches prior to Raws in like 97. He came out to just generic music number 5, and it was just crazy. Had no idea that he would be such a star. Oh, Jesus, Kane. Yikes. Oh, took them all out. Everybody but Christian got a little piece of that. I think I missed one from Divine as well. Appreciate that $2 earlier, dude. Everyone besides Kane and Benoit. Besides Benoit and Kane, everyone is still active. I almost thought you said still alive. I'm like, tell me Kane didn't die, and I forgot. Active, yeah. Kane and Benoit. Everybody else still works. I mean, Kane could probably still show up and throw a choke slam if he wanted to, if he's not too busy tweeting stupid shit. Crazy, this match was 17 years ago. Oh, yeah, I've got it confused. Thank you. New Year's Revolution was the one you were asking about. I was thinking December to Dismember. So sorry, Spaz. Earlier when you asked New Year's Revolution, I was thinking that was the December to Dismember. So I don't even know what the hell New Year's Revolution is. All I know is must have been the one with the Elimination Chamber where Edge won the title. I've got it confused. Sorry about that, Dominic. Or sorry about that, Spaz. I understand now. Oh, German with the ladder in his hand. Boy, that ladder went flying. A German suplex. If a German throws a German suplex, is it just a suplex? Like in China, do they call Chinese food food. Up, choke slam to Benoit off the ladder. Oh, crossface counter into the crippler crossface. He's got it. Well, you can't tap anybody out, so. Yeah, I had my pay-per-views all mixed up. I remember the New Year's Revolution. That one I did see. I just don't remember much about it except for the Elimination Chamber. And Edge hanging onto that briefcase for the entire year. Oh. Did he open up Benoit's stitches with that shot to the face? Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Well, that's not that bad. If he stomps on it, Jesus. God. Probably does suck to have that happen. Spear to Kane. Fans are booing Edge. They know what he's been up to. Yeah. Look at there. E and C with the ladder teamwork. They're very good at that. I was at SummerSlam 2000. I watched that three-way ladder match. It was fucking nuts, man. Saw it live. No, doesn't make you a bad person to watch Benoit matches, I don't think. I mean, I think technically you wouldn't be a bad person if you wanted to watch The Cosby Show or something, you know? It's hard to watch without thinking about what those people did, though. That's the only issue I have. I can watch. I love Benoit's work in the ring. Saw a lot of his matches live. I saw him win and drop championships live. But going back and looking at it now, it's just hard to not have that in your mind. Fucking on The Cosby Show when Bill Cosby's punishing little Tootie or whatever her name is. Like, you just can't think about nothing but what he did. Jesus, big shot, big bump by Edge. That makes everything harder, too, as good as Benoit was, you know. We can't ever enjoy his legacy. And he left a hell of a one. Look at how athletic Shelton was back then. I mean, he still is, but when he was young, my God. Looks virtually the same. WWE keeping Jericho and Benoit's name now. I mean, they wouldn't change them after all these years, but if they came in as rookies, yeah, they'd probably get their names changed now. Yikes. Somebody, I don't know what they're trying to set up here. No, I never really thought the streak was in that much jeopardy after, like, WrestleMania 17. Oh, they are all up. Is every single dude up there? Everybody but maybe Kane? Where is Kane? Did he go to Wendy's? Sometimes you need a Frosty, even if there is a ladder match going on. Oof. God. Jesus. That was a big bump by Jericho, too. They're falling one at a time. Wow. Big. Yeah, that was a T-bone by Shelton to Edge from the top of the ladder. Yikes. Yeah, if Benoit would have not been a murderer, Jericho would probably be a pretty good candidate to put him in the Hall of Fame. Can't think of too many better ones than Jericho. I mean, they could perhaps do Brett, but Jericho probably makes the most sense in terms of the matches they had against each other. Oh, yeah, the ring is super fucking wobbly. You do have to take that in consideration. Even though it is that wobbly, though, the wrestlers take way too long to get up there. But, yeah, it ain't easy. I wouldn't be able to walk up a ladder when it's moving so much. Batista or Dominic inducting Ray. That could be interesting. Batista could be a good one. Come on, Jericho, you're almost there. Come on. That's the innovative spot Shelton did. Fans loved that. First time we've seen that. Big pop. Big reaction for that move. Oh, I love the camera angle here. Awesome stuff. I think I remember that Eddie and Johnny B. Bad match from Nitro. Right before Mero left. Ooh. Oh, finally, Kane's back. Took out Christian. Tomko looks like he's about to come in and nail Kane. Oh, I don't think they meant to do that. I think Benjamin's foot got caught in the rope by accident. Oh. Tomko took out Kane. Oh, my God, he's trying to help. Christian's like, well, I can't stand. Tomko trying to lift up Christian. Yeah, Kane. Oh, wow. Tomko sold too early on that one. Oh, shit. Christian, I think you're going to go for a ride. Oh, my. That was a rough bump. Rough landing. What was that noise? Oof. Yeah, Christian did land a little funny on his left leg. Oh, what is Jericho? Why did Jericho fall like that? They're trying to wobble that. Oh, Jericho all the way over. Now we got a bent ladder now. Everybody's wiped out. You got to feel like Edge has got to start coming to soon here. Now Benoit, I like how he's still selling that arm deal that I believe Kane did that to him in the ladder, right? Oh my God, he's going to go for the headbutt. Every time you see one of these, you wonder which one it was that put his brain over the edge. Because he's going to probably miss this. His nose is busted too. Jesus Christ. Benoit always just looks so intense. God, he's going all the way up. This is very hard to stand on. Oh, he hit it too. He nailed Kane with it. Jesus. Oh, he did too. God damn. Oh. He really did smack his head on something that opened him up. I think he really, yeah, he hit Kane, I guess, on the shoulder. Oh, man, Benoit. I sometimes watch old takeover shows every now and then. I know there's been some great ones, especially some of those early ones, first 5 years or so. I was at War Games in 2018. That was awesome. I think that was the War Games match, and I think it was Gargano and Black, and Aleister Black. Oof. Jesus Christ. Big headbutts to Kane. He's getting the best of it here. Fucking Wolverine. Jesus. And he got the better. He won a slugfest with Kane at the top of a ladder. Come on, Benoit. I was actually rooting for him in this. And there's Edge. After all the damage Benoit did to himself, oh, now Edge is going to go up. That must be the finish. I think he knocks Benoit off with the chair. Yeah, he's going to grab it right here. Unhook it. Don't pull a Jack Swagger. And he's got it. He would hold that thing for what, 9 months, 10 months, something like that, until they got all the way around to January the next year? Crazy, man. Anytime he chooses. I mean, he picked the right time, you know? He waited until Cena had that grueling match. Every bump Benoit took in this match looked like it played a role in his problems. What's up, AJ? You got that right. Lots of stars built on this night. Okay, I don't see Anthony Kiedis anymore. Oh, that's because he was behind Cole and Taz. I'm trying to figure out who's behind. I don't know who that dude is between Cole or Lawler and JR. Oh, here comes Eugene. Oh, this must be Hogan or something. Is this what Hogan does? Oh, he's got his music too. I don't think you could do this character today. You really shouldn't have been doing this character then. I feel like Eugene had two themes. Am I right about that? I always thought the Eugene theme I had in my head didn't sound like this. He's at WrestleMania. Oh, yeah, Kevin, we're very much aware of Scott Hall. Got his picture right there. It's the only picture I have of him physically that I can show. Other than... Little Beaver. He body slammed this midget. Oh, wow, look how big this is. This midget army attacked King Kong Bundy. I love it. There's a picture of me and Scott Hall from the Jericho Cruise a couple years ago. He was very fun and very cool. So, yeah, we're all wishing Scott Hall the best. Oh, yeah. Muhammad Hassan. I like that he described the angle at WrestleMania 3 with Bundy beating up the midget, and then the good midgets and the bad midgets formed a midget army. That's not exactly what happened, Eugene. And you're not supposed to call them that either. But it's kind of close. I mean, the heels did get upset. I think it was Little Brook and Lord Little Brook was on Bundy's side with Little Tokyo. And on the other side, I think it was Haiti Kid and Little Beaver. And they all got very, very mad at Bundy for what he did to the Little Beaver. I remember after that, because I used to live in a neighborhood back in those days, like, you know, that ice cream trucks would drive through. So those ice cream trucks that would come through had the WWF ice cream bars. So I would always get them. And I remember right after WrestleMania 3, Little Beaver ran a spot for WWE on TV putting the ice cream bars over. And he's like, every time I think about what King Kong Bundy did to me at WrestleMania 3, I get hot. And the only way I can cool off is with one of these delicious ice cream bars. And I remember watching that, like on the very same day the ice cream truck came through. And I bought myself an ice cream bar. I think I got a Honky Tonk Man bar. I wasn't happy about it. I was like, you got any Macho Mans? This fucking gimmick. So stupid. You don't like midgets. Yeah, I think WWE's giving the Muhammad Hassan gimmick the Benoit treatment. I don't think they have anything against him personally, but this was their own fucking fault. They got nobody to blame but themselves for even doing an angle like this. Especially so close. I mean, this is 4 years removed from 9/11. This is, you know, just so close to so much of this fear of terrorism and stuff. Fucking idiots in this company. Yeah, and he's Italian on top of that. They're like, close enough. Vince is like, bring me the brownest person we got. I mean, that's probably literally what he said, you know, and then they bring him to his office. He'll work. Throw one of them things on his head. Send him out there. I mean, this... I don't even know what he's saying. Why are you yelling at Eugene? You got two of the most controversial characters ever doing a segment at WrestleMania. Daivari's the only one I like in this whole thing. I will say this, though. His robe looks very comfortable. Is he freeballing it? I would be. Oh, you want a WrestleMania moment, huh? And down goes Eugene. Well, I think we all knew what was going to happen here. I remember this weekend, the word was out that Hogan was going to do something. The fans knew it too. See? They should not be doing that either. That fucking pop. I mean, that's insane. I don't even like Hogan, but come on. That is a pop like I've never seen. No, it always blew my mind that he wasn't there the year before. I mean, I know he wasn't on good terms with them contractually at the time, but Hogan missed 10 and 20. How crazy is that? The two WrestleManias of all WrestleManias after the Hogan era that he should have been at, he wasn't at. And he came back in LA the next year to beat up the foreign heels. Like it's 1986 up in here. Oh, did they announce the tournament brackets or something today? I haven't filled out a bracket in like 15 years. I don't give a fuck who wins in March Madness. Don't give a shit. Unless it's Michigan State. If Izzo's got those boys in the Final Four, I might watch. Otherwise, who cares? Down goes Muhammad. A few months later, Hogan would be beating Shawn at SummerSlam. 2 years after, he had his match at 19 with Vince. See, this would have been a good point to have Stone Cold come in from behind and stun Hogan. Oh, Daivari. I don't know. I kind of think Daivari might be able to take Hogan in a fight. In 2005. He could definitely take him now. Yeah, WWE would be getting heat if they had Rusev on TV now. Wasn't him and Lana even talking about Putin and shit in their promos? So yeah, they wouldn't be doing that. Not right now. WWE has a little bit different of a philosophy now. I don't think they're ever going to outwardly go out of their way to be controversial anymore. Where they used to like it back in the day for the attention, but they have a different kind of idea, philosophy, business model now. I mean, look, he's over. One of the things that makes me annoyed about Hogan the most is, you know, how I want to appreciate this legacy. I mean, I grew up with Hogan. I mean, I saw him beat the Sheik. I saw his entire run through everything. Even before he got to WWE, he was working in AWA, starting to get over as a babyface. And then coming in and having all those, you know, title runs in WWE, going to WCW, becoming the best heel in the business, coming back. You know, he should have a Babe Ruth type legacy, but he's such a fucking dirty shithead that it's hard to appreciate it. But you can't deny the overness of this fucking fool. I take comfort in knowing that as a fan, I never sold out. I was always, there was times when I liked Hogan, but he was never, ever, ever, even as a child, he was not my favorite. You know, Hogan was world champion when I was 9 years old, and I still did not like him the best. So at least I can tell myself that, oh, look at David Arquette, and there's Brooke. I don't know who the lady in the red hair is. David Arquette. I met him right outside the Staples Center at that SmackDown show when Kofi lost to Brock. Arquette was hanging out. You got a picture with him. I mean, fans are eating this shit up. There's Linda. He's still with Linda. I like that Arquette is with them. That's just random. Real American is 10 times better than WCW's American-made song. Wow. I've only seen Hogan live a few times. I went a long streak there where I didn't see him at all. I'm trying to think. Other than WrestleMania 3 when I saw him wrestle. I saw him a couple times in 03 when he was doing the Mr. America shit. I'm trying to think when else I've seen him live. And there he goes. Now, I will say this. As much as I don't like Hogan, and I don't give a shit about national pride, don't care about either, this was a cool visual. They're about to drop the American flag in the background of Hogan doing the thing right here. That is badass. I will say that, even though I don't like either one of them. Look good. He's a real American, just like the song says, right? Okay, well, that was a nice little trip down memory lane there with Hogan. All right, so I see Billy Corgan. I see Adam Sandler. I see Anthony Kiedis. I see some dude taking a picture of me, probably. Fucking paparazzi. Oh, and Rob Schneider's still over there, too. Ooh, Orton and Undertaker up next. Okay. Cool. Imagine if Hulk Hogan, like Regina, what Regina says here, I still can't believe they are doing WrestleManias without Hogan. I can. But Regina, imagine if Hulk Hogan had the reputation of a Mick Foley. Imagine if Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan, but with Mick Foley's personality. Hulk Hogan would be a part of WrestleMania every year. I think they would want him there, because he hasn't, I think anytime he's not there is out of any sort of contract stuff, or WWE usually trying to distance themselves from him because of something stupid he did or said. But if he was somebody that was just universally and worldwide beloved by most people, he'd be a part of it every year. You'd want him there because he was the genesis of all of this. And he should be a guy that has an influence on WrestleMania every year. If he doesn't, it's only due to himself. And for all the opportunities that Hogan has had, he could probably have had even more in his old age had he not, had the controversies and stuff. Will Hogan show up this year? I hope not. I don't think they need him in Dallas, to be honest. I don't think he's a ticket seller at this point. I mean, he hosted last year with Titus, and everybody just laughed at it because it was ridiculous. So, no, I don't think he needs to be there unless he shows up unannounced or is in a backstage nostalgia segment. Something like that I'm fine with, but he doesn't need to be out there in the ring doing anything. I actually really liked what they did at 30. I thought Hogan, Rock, and Austin having that opening promo was really cool. Like pretty much the three most over guys ever, and that's like legit. I mean, unless you count like Bruno or something. Other than that, those are the three icons really in every way possible. Austin and Hogan probably had the most overall wrestling success in terms of merch and shit like that. And then Rock went on to become the biggest movie star in history and beginning his career in wrestling. So they really are. Oh, you RKO'd Stacy? I really like Randy Orton, but I'm not sure now. Poor Stacy. Stacy Keibler is as perfect as you get. There is no flaw in her whatsoever. She has no weak spot. Look at fucking Ace on his knees. Now, it would be later on this year, right, where Orton would have that hepatitis issue or whatever with Undertaker? Or with Bob would? That's right, and Ace went into the Hall of Fame the night before. Yeah, that's right, because we watched last summer. We watched SummerSlam 05, right? And it was a rematch of this. And I think Bob Orton got involved and helped Randy Orton win the rematch. Oh, the Druids. I always liked the Druids. So we're 1 year now into the return of the Dead Man. Who are these Druids? How many future wrestling champions are under those hoods right now? You can see, you wouldn't mind looking for Stacy weak spots? Yeah. She's definitely one of them. I'd take her home to mom type of girls, that's for sure. Mom would be like, way to go, good job. All right, here comes Taker. Oh, yeah, he floats. He's on a fucking, what's that thing that you stand on that like Mike Tyson ate shit on when he in his house? I could not even stand on one of those. He's basically like on a skateboard. He's on a Darby Allin skateboard. So I guess that fog is thick enough. I'm wondering if the fans right on the aisle there can see that he's just cruising in. Not the best special entrance of The Undertaker. I think the one at WrestleMania 9 with the Vulture was better than this. I like how Taz is like, he's moving to the ring, but he's not walking. As if WWE wouldn't have the money to purchase something that you could just ride in on. Probably do that for $400, man. Fucking Tony Chimmel. Never liked him either. Always seemed like a jerk off to me. Divine Ricks, thanks for 5 more from you, dude. Much like Eddie and Ray, Orton and Taker had a great feud in 05, and now Randy is a legend himself in 2022. Yeah, a lot of that has to do with matches like this that he had early on his career that made him. He had a feud with Foley the year before, now working with Undertaker at WrestleMania. The previous year, he worked with The Rock and Mick Foley at WrestleMania. Year after that, he was in the World Heavyweight Championship match. So his first 3 WrestleManias were huge matches. I don't know what he did at 23. He was either injured or he was in the Money in the Bank or something. I don't even know. He was probably injured. I don't even recall what he did at 23. God, he was only 12-0 back then. He'd go on to win like 10 more. Everyone hates Chimmel. I remember I've told this story before. I was at a SmackDown taping. It was in Fayetteville. It was right before SummerSlam 2002, Brock and Rock. And I remember that because Brock and Rock had run in that night and they botched something and had to reshoot it. Well, during this was a taping, so it was just a SmackDown taping. It was like the Tuesday after Raw. They were taping it for whenever the hell SmackDown aired back in those days. And, in between, the matches and shit, you guys have been to WWE shows. Maybe some of you have back then. They would do the T-shirt cannon thing, and they would shoot off T-shirts into the crowd. And I guess Taz was shooting them off or something. And he comes around after he's done, and Tony Chimmel is standing up, and he shoots Chimmel in the dick with the T-shirt gun. And Chimmel loses his mind. Just yelling and screaming right in front of all the audience, yelling and screaming. It wasn't an angle or anything. He was like really mad. And this was all off camera. But I was like, I just thought he like overreacted. I'm like, dude, you're in the wrestling business. It's like an episode of Jackass. You got to always be looking over your shoulder for the ribs. It didn't hurt, so he just shot him and he just like overreacted, acted like a little prick about it. And I was like, I don't like that Chimmel guy. And whenever he announces a champion, he pronounces champion chimpion, and I never liked it. He's not a chimp, he's a champ. Listen to Chimmel make announcements. He'll say, in this corner, the WWE champion. And I'm like, he's not a champion, motherfucker. So, I don't know. Tony Chimmel pet peeve. All right, Undertaker and Ric Flair both rocking the guy liner. I only recently learned, I think probably in the last 2 years, that CM Punk's WWE theme was originally for Randy Orton. Orton even came out to it once. I never even knew that before changing over to this. Or no, changing over to the next one he would have. This was the one that he would have after this. Apparently they gave him Punk's first. I never knew that. Before he got voices. I think both of Randy Orton's theme, this one here and voices, I have the exact same opinion of both. I don't hate the themes, but I certainly don't love the themes. I think they were just okay enough to be passable and to fit Randy Orton well enough to where they haven't had to really change too much with him. He's only had 2 themes in his whole career, so that's good. And even though I never loved him, I felt like they fit. I mean, sometimes themes will, even if themes are stupid, you'll wind up liking them. I mean, think of how stupid Think about how brain-meltingly stupid Shawn Michaels' theme is. And I will fucking jam out to it when he comes out to the ring. I don't know why. That's what wrestling will do. God. Taker is wrestling a style here of a 230-pound wrestler. Oh, wow. What a sell by Randy. Randy is so young. Dude probably got so much pussy back then. It was ridiculous. Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I never noticed Orton really doesn't rock those style elbow pads anymore. I'd be patting the hell out of myself. I have bad elbows too and knees. I would need them to be. I've put a picture on Twitter just a few weeks ago how it's basically this golf ball coming out of my elbow of just fluid that had built up because I whacked my elbow on something. And I could not imagine wrestling without a little protection on my knees and elbows. I always thought the guys that wrestle with neither are like masochists. Because there's a couple guys, I think Norman Smiley back in the day. There's probably a whole bunch of examples now too. Walter, I don't think wears knee pads. A couple other guys that I'm like, I just don't know how they do it. They're going to regret that when they get a little older. Yeah, Orton was a young 24 back then. This was 2005, so I would have been 27. I only got 3 years on Orton. God, I would have been 27 when this show aired. Holy fuck. I don't like the sound of that at all. Oh, no kidding. We Are Pro Wrestling on one of the Untold specials. I've seen all of those. I probably just forgot this. Orton revealed he missed the rehearsal for this match. Wow. I guess maybe that rings the bell. Those Untolds were good. I'm looking forward to that Evil series. Oh, that's a weird-looking old school Undertaker just hit on Orton. Yeah, that Evil stuff looks good. I'm sure there's going to be a couple, I don't really give a shit to hear much about from The Miz or Stephanie for that matter, but some of those documentaries are going to be real good. Yeah, Randy Orton's done a fantastic job of aging too, He looks great. And in general, wrestlers are just looking better the older they get. Back in the early 90s, oh my God. If you were 40, you were considered old, and you looked it too, You think about guys look at Bobby Roode. How old's Bobby Roode? Look at the shape he's in. Bobby Lashley is basically my age, looking the way he does. I'm like, my God, Brock is the same age as me. Do we get any blood in this match? I didn't think we did, but we might. We got Earl reffing this. Oof. And Orton is Orton. Think of the star that Orton has become. We were talking about this recently with AEW with guys like Jericho and Punk and Danielson, trying to work with so many young guys, whether it be as opponents or maybe even tag team partners, depending on the situation, and how a lot of fans today complain about that. And they don't seem to understand that, these are career making and star making experiences that you have. And I've said time and time again, I'm like, if any of these guys, like a Daniel Garcia or someone like that, goes on to win multiple titles and becomes a Hall of Famer, they're going to look back to these matches with Danielson, and Punk is really giving him big, huge veteran stars to work with to really help get his career going. And he's going to credit his career to a lot of that stuff. The same way guys like Randy Orton probably credit The Undertaker with his success and stuff. So this is all stuff that needs to happen. I love that we're watching The Undertaker, a guy with a 12-0 record at WrestleMania who's been in the business forever, working with a kid who's 24 years old. That's how you continue. That's how the business continues to move forward. Without this, the business will fizzle out when you can't make any stars. WWE's already coming dangerously close to achieving that. So it's refreshing to see over on, another wrestling promotion doing it the right way in my mind, getting guys the rubs they need and trying to get everybody elevated as opposed to just one or two guys, because that's how the business is going to survive. Undertaker laying it in now on Randy Orton. Oh, I got 2 or 3 super chats rolling in, so let's knock these out. Chris Ludecki, thanks for the 5 from you. If I was a wrestler, I would emulate Orton in terms of working a safe style for longevity in life after wrestling. Safest style to me was Luger. Yeah, Luger, and, aside from the leg drops and the damage to his hips, Hogan had a pretty safe style too. So did Steve Austin after the pile driver. But Orton in general was a guy who could work exciting matches without going too crazy. He didn't have to be AJ, Shawn, Rey Mysterio, but he could still perform some crazy spots. And a lot of that is just because he's just naturally gifted as just a very smooth, natural athlete. And he didn't have to do crazy bumps. He does have the perfect style. Somebody who can put on good matches and have a long career at the same time. Because sometimes in order to have a super long career, you might have to work a boring as fuck style. Randy Orton never has. I mean, hell, just on Monday, he's still pulling these RKOs out of his ass that are the damnedest things we've ever seen, the way he countered that moonsault, I am a huge Randy Orton supporter. I'll always have his back, just like I had Cena's. Not condoning any of his behavior problems that he had or anything like that, but based on his in-ring career, the dude has had a solid run. Randy sucks. Is that what they're saying? Randy sucks. Who's next? AJ Daniels, appreciate 5 from you. Did you know it was originally supposed to be Taker and Kane versus Snitsky and Heidenreich, but Taker said, no, I want to work with Orton. I know that now. I remember it now. I completely forgot about that story. As soon as you said it, it does ring a bell. That must have been on one of those documentaries. I've heard it in a shoot interview or something. That's good. Taker's not dumb. Think about those 2 matches. It would have been great for the Brothers of Destruction to come back together again 1 year after, their whole deal. But we would see the Brothers of Destruction again countless times throughout our lives. That would make that match largely forgettable. So Taker made the right call. He knows where the money is, and he saw promise in Randy Orton. Everybody saw promise in Randy Orton. Even I did. I mean, at the time, I'm like, oh yeah, that kid might, as long as WWE don't get too excited and get too ahead of themselves like they did. Put the belt on him a little early, made him a babyface, hoping he would be the next Rock, but didn't have the promo ability and the delivery like that to be the Rock. So he's just better as a heel, better as a cocky prick. Nice reversal in DDT. And I'm sure Randy Orton admittedly knows that he probably didn't appreciate the stage he was on right here. I mean, this is a huge deal, working Mania with Taker, and you're 24. I don't even think at age 24 my brain would be able to comprehend that, because you're young. Oh, yeah, Divine Ricks. Appreciate the $5 from you, too. Do I think Randy Orton is one of the best heels of all time? Hell yeah. One of the best wrestlers of all time, if you ask me. Uh-oh. Let's see. That's awesome. I just got a text message from a friend of mine. Funny picture. Funny stuff. Yeah, I think we'll do WrestleMania 18 one day, Rodrigo, for sure. We have to. That was kind of a big show. Hogan and Rock. Got to watch that. One day we'll get to that. Maybe next week. We got to do one next week. Let's think about it. 18 could be on the list. I wouldn't mind going back older again. We did WrestleMania 10 a couple days ago. I've really been wanting to do WrestleMania 3. But WrestleMania 8 could be fun. Did we do 8 last year? I don't think we did. WrestleMania 8 could be fun. I like 14. I was at WrestleMania 15. We could do that, but WrestleMania 15 sucked. but I was there. 14 in Boston. Yeah, Raymond. WrestleMania 20 I did want to do. I wanted to do WrestleMania 20 as well. But maybe we'll do that. Oh, shit, we're running out of time, though. I don't maybe want to do it back-to-back with the one that's so close in relation to time. My plan was to do 10, 20, 30, but then after I had to basically miss the entire month of February dealing with my cat situation, kind of threw everything off. Well, we got a week to think about it. Next Friday is the 20th anniversary of 18. That's true, We Are Pro Wrestling. We might have to do 18. I would love to do WrestleMania 4 as well because I love WrestleMania 4. 18 might get us a better audience, though. Oh, Earl. Earl with a bump. Oh, that was a weak-ass bump. Come on, Earl. That was like a weak-ass forearm. Look at Earl selling it like he's literally been shot in the face. Oh, wow. Was that a botch or to take her legit buckle on that? Oh, no. Bob with the cast. Oh. I remember marking out. I grew up with that fucking cast, y'all. You have no idea. You have no idea. Owen Hart paid homage to it a little bit in the 90s, doing kind of something similar, but fucking ace in that cast, man. No. And he kicks out. Oh. Too bad, Bob. What the fuck? Causing all sorts of problems at WrestleMania 1, too, on the outside of the ring. He caused the finish with that very fucking cast at WrestleMania 1. Nailing Orndorff with it by accident. Oh, wow. Nice bump by Bob. Bob Orton could sell like a motherfucker. He was so good at it. He would just do crazy shit sometimes. He was kind of like, Oof. Wow. I forgot that he counters the choke slam. Or the tombstone into the RKO. That was awesome. Was it the RKO or the tombstone he just countered? Or the Taker kicks out. Tombstone or choke slam he just countered. They'll show the replay right here. Oh, yeah, choke slam. But just the way he... Oh, so good. That was the beginning of all of it. That was the beginning of the, him pulling off the RKOs out of nowhere. He's going to go for the tombstone. Let's just do a SummerSlam 94 finish, shall we? There we go. And that should be it. I don't think Randy kicks out of this. No, he doesn't. What a match. Excellent outing for Randy Orton. Randy Orton was too good in the ring, too good looking, had too many X factors to not be a success, but you have to wonder how much of a success he would have been had it not been for this, at least trio of matches he had with The Undertaker, right? They'd work SummerSlam, and I think they'd do Hell in a Cell, right? So, great shit. Yeah, I agree, We Are Pro Wrestling. There's only been a couple times where I thought there was a chance, and that was one of them. WrestleMania... I guess 17, I predicted Undertaker to lose to Triple H. I thought Triple H would end the streak at 10 or whatever it was, and then Undertaker won. And from then on, I had very little times where I thought it was actually over. The Hell in a Cell match he had with Triple H when Shawn kicked him and he went into the pedigree, that was the only other time, I think, where I've legit believed that it was over. Even WrestleMania 30, when the 3 count happened, even when the hand was coming down, I was just expecting a kick out, I think we were all that big fella in the front row. We were all him that day. I was. Ugh. Perfect looking tombstone, too. Fucking perfect. Legendary. Senior in college and senior in high school, huh, Michael? Right on. My WrestleMania senior in high school year would have been WrestleMania 11 or Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. That was my senior year. Making sure our timer is still set up good. Yep, we're all following along just fine. Ooh, first title match. What do we got? Ah, Trish and Christy. Right on. Well, if I'm going to watch Trish, I'm going to need a new frosty beverage. I'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Oh, WrestleMania 25 for you, huh? We Are Pro Wrestling? What year was that? 09, huh? This is the year Trish retires, or is it next year? What's Christy Hemme up to these days? I always liked her. She had a run in TNA, right? Did she wrestle there, or was she mostly backstage and ring announcing? I remember that whole Diva Search shit. I was really starting to be mentally checked out at that point. But that whole Diva Search, I remember just being able to tell what they were going to do. The very first time they had all the women out there, I was like, Christy and Carmella. It's going to be those two. You just knew for some reason, like how they were presenting it. I was like, Diva Search my ass. She's incredible. Jesus Christ. Who's with her? Lita? Okay. Lita doesn't look right coming out of this music. Lita's got some heat too, man. Everybody knows you've been naughty, Lita. You've been very naughty. Naughty Lita. Got interesting music. She's just out there in this little skimpy ass. I don't even know what you call it. Doesn't even look like wrestling gear. Looks like what a Bud Light girl would look like at some titty bar passing you drinks out to you. She always has great gear. I liked this specific one. She doesn't drop the belt here to Christy, does she? It's weird, because Trish is a heel here. Fans are giving her literally no reaction. Oh, that's not Christy's real theme? Okay, thank you. That was probably edited. I don't remember what the hell her theme sounded like anyway, so I wouldn't have known. Christy has 4 kids now? No kidding. Good for her. Family. She's been busy. Who's she married to? Anybody in the business? Oh, yeah, that's right. It would be 2006 because Trish drops the belt to Mickey at 22. I know one part of that match they edited out. Oh, Trish taunting the rookie. Christy Hemme, would I like to see her in AEW? I wouldn't be upset to see her in AEW, but I don't really care. I don't even know really what she's up to. I just hope she's doing well. Apparently she's got a family and 4 kids, so if they have a place for her and she's still in the business in any way, hell yeah. I never had anything against Christy Hemme at all. Just never really saw her much in TNA. Saw her a few times doing the backstage interviews and stuff like that, but didn't really know much of her since after her WWE departure. Trish dancing around. I kind of forgot that Lita was even at ringside for this. I don't even think I recalled that. Oh, Christy has 5 kids. Okay, good for her. 5 kids for Christy, so she had 1 of each, huh? Oh, it's an old Bobby Heenan joke. Yeah, Christy. The amount of training she had at this point could not have been much. Yeah, Sasha Banks was like 10 years old here. There's probably a whole bunch of wrestlers that were just fucking kids. I'm the old one here. I'm the one that's starting to realize, oh my God. I mean, I have people that work for me at the restaurant that weren't born when 9/11 happened. And that, to me, that is just crazy to me. But that was 21 years ago, you know? So it still seems recent to me. Jack Doan is the official for this one. What you gonna do, Lita? So Trish, during the time between now and WrestleMania 22 the following year, when she would drop it, good camera angle, to Mickie James, she would go back babyface. She was a babyface by the time they got to that match, right? So I don't know what the trajectory for, and I know Lita would definitely be a heel. She'd be at ringside backing up Edge that night against Foley. Trish talking the smack. You love it. You love it. Very close. I wonder how, I have no idea how Hemme even got this title shot. Did she win it on TV or something? Oh, cool. Deshaun, thank you for that $2. Christy just returned to Impact as a producer. Nice. So she's in the business. Good for her. Yeah, I've always known very little about her since all this. Never heard a bad thing about her. Her name is never in the news in any sort of negative way, so I have no reason to believe that she's not an awesome person. So, hope she's well. Oh, Mike Witt, you're going to be 45 in May. Nice. You're older than me. I'll be 45 in September. So, you'll be dead way before me, because, you're older than me. So, that's kind of naturally what happens. And in May, you'll be halfway to 90. Unlike, for example, myself, who wouldn't be that old, like you would be. So yeah, old. Oh, I thought I was like, is she gonna win this fucking title? Wouldn't it be weird if you were watching wrestling and then? There you go. What if you were just decided to put on WrestleMania 19 one day and Booker T won the World Heavyweight title from Triple H? Wouldn't you be like, what? Wait. Huh? Maybe one day it'll happen. Universe is a weird place. All right, Trish retains. Thank God. I liked Christy Hemme a lot. But Can't be beating Trish at Mania. Oh, John Cena. So John Cena and Mike will both be halfway to 90. Unlike, for example, me, who won't be by that point. So, yeah. But they will. Just to recap, they will be that old, and I won't be. If you have any other questions about their age and how much older they are than me, just let me know. Okay, it's is this Sean and Angle? Yes, it's Sean and Angle. Okay, good. I mean, they are hitting us with one after another here. We got a couple of buffers. We, like Christy and Trish just was, and I guess we're gonna have to watch that sumo thing here soon. Yeah. Yeah, I know, Victor. WWE should have put the belt on Booker at WrestleMania. So what if you were just randomly watching it one day and he wins it and celebrates with it? You'd be freaking out. A lot of Sean highlights. I mean, Sean was still kind of freshly back at this point. 2.5 years or so he'd been back in the ring. It was still a treat in my mind to see him in the ring. I know he main evented the year before, but I still wasn't over the fact that he was back. I was still just couldn't believe it. I was like, I cannot believe that Sean is not only back, but wrestling at a high level, and his attitude seems to be in check, for the most part. Definitely not he definitely isn't who he was in the 90s, and I was just so grateful that this was happening. And Sean coming back, we get dream matches. I think I was at that show. The one where Sean was dressed as security. Pretty sure. I was at one of them in Raleigh leading up to this. Brian Knobs has the same birthday as you. What a role model. If anybody out there has kids, just tell them to learn everything they can about Brian Knobs and try to be just like him. No, don't, for real. Just kidding. Oh, there's Sherry. I'm just a sexy Kurt. Oh, yeah, there's Josh Matthews getting his ass kicked. Sean's highlights are him beating up Brett and Diesel, and Kurt Angle's highlights is beating up Josh Matthews. Oh, Billy Gibbons. He has passed away. Marge Heigenberger. CSI. I don't watch CSI. All right, here comes Sean. Yeah, I was reading the Cody stuff today. Yeah, they are just backing up what I've never strayed from. I've believed ever since Cody made that statement and AEW confirmed it that he was leaving, that he was going to WWE. I think if he was staying with AEW, he would have stayed there. So, despite all of the swirling rumors and conflicting reports, I haven't changed my mind. I think he's showing up in WWE. So, if he is, Rollins is the right opponent for him. That'll be fun. God, he looks good. I'm just a sexy Greg. Sexy Greg. I'll break your fucking leg. Fucking leg. See, that's a song too. It works. Would I like to wrestle Kurt Angle? No, I don't want to hurt him. Kurt Angle's awesome. I would never subject Angle to that sort of abuse and punishment and the things I would do to him. No, he's a wrestling legend, and you don't treat legends that way by stretching them and making them cry like a girl. No, you don't do that. it's pretty rude of you to suggest that, Rodrigo, that you feel that badly about Kurt Angle and you dislike him so much that you would actually sacrifice him to me and my unstoppable offense. Rude. Rude, rude, rude. Here comes Angle. This is a fucking Hall of Fame match right here. I don't need a championship. I don't need anything. This is just... It's fucking Hagler Hearns, but without the championship, you know? It's unbelievable. I mean, I'm very bummed out that we never got Angle and Brett, because that just would have been fantastic. But honestly, you know, because of Sean's style, this might have been a touch more fantastic. And if we got Angle and Brett, we might have never got Angle and Sean. And even though I'm bummed we never got Angle and Brett, I'm very happy we got this. And we got it several times. This is a trio of matches as well. I mean, they did a lot of this in 05. Batista and Triple H, I think, worked 3 pay-per-views together. Randy Orton and Undertaker worked 3 pay-per-views together. These two, I'm pretty sure, worked 2 pay-per-views together, and then they worked the Raw Homecoming, like, Iron Man match that I guess was kind of operated or was as the blow-off. But they had a lot of those, and Eddie and Ray, same thing. So they were much better at having stories back then, you know? Now the shit's all over the place. Fucking clusterfuck. We got Earl Hebner's son and his Backstreet Boys hair officiating this. This is a big, big match for Brian to officiate. I wonder if he had any heat backstage, like nepotism heat. I think everybody likes Brian. He worked Impact for years, right? Might still. But the Corderases and the Kyotas back there might think that they should be officiating this one. Yeah, I think the pace in this is a touch quicker, I think, than it would be if it was Angle and Brett. There wouldn't be any moonsaults onto announce tables and stuff. I mean, if there was, Angle would be the one doing it. Yes, Alan Carter. I will be at Dynamite on June 1st. I also got my Double or Nothing tickets the other day. I got great seats for Double or Nothing. I'm really excited for that. So if you guys are going, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. Probably going to be working something out either the day of the show, prior to the show, or even on Saturday. Probably going to do some sort of a meetup then as well. So probably start getting some details for that right after we get on the other side of WrestleMania. So if y'all are going to Vegas, we will boogie. Yeah, Angle and Brett, the Benoit and Angle match at Royal Rumble 2003, I think would be pretty similar. Benoit physically does a few things extra that Brett doesn't do, specifically top rope stuff, which Brett pretty much stays completely away from the top rope. That, you know, would make the match, would put all that on Kurt's shoulders or keep the match more in the ring. But yeah, that would be a similar looking match. You know, if Angle and Brett worked like WrestleMania, you know, you compare that to an Angle and Benoit match, I think it would be pretty similar in terms of spots, pace, that sort of thing. Oh, the kids with the fake IDs. I did. They were actually fine. They weren't even that bad. They were nice. They were all dressed up nice. Because we're a nice restaurant, so it's always weird when young people come in and anyway. And they were pretty young looking, and they all tried to order drinks, and she comes up to me. She goes, "We go take a look at this table," and the server was scared to serve them. So I went over and talked to him, and I was like, "Let me look at your IDs." and they were all from different states. They actually looked really good, and I'm like, I'm not an asshole, but I mean, clearly they weren't real, and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable serving you. I can't, but I'm not going to be taking these from you. You present these in a bar or something like that, they might take it away. Like, I get fake IDs. I understand. Like, I think all kids should have one. I think it's part of growing up. I had one, but just don't be bringing that shit in my house, But it was just kind of funny. I'm like, you got to be smarter than this. Like, you got to know, like, you got to know what to do if you have a fake ID. And if you have 7 friends and each one of you are presenting a different state ID, come on. I'm not fucking born yesterday. So they made it kind of obvious. I'm like, there's probably other ways to do it. It would have been easier, but whatevs. I mean, Angle's got what? 15 pounds on Sean, maybe? I mean, I want to enjoy this match, but I can't get over Brian Hebner's in-sync hair. This is 2005. Wasn't that shit over? Wasn't frosting your tips done by that point? Or were people still doing it? I wouldn't know, obviously. Me and Kurt Angle don't have to worry about shit like that. Do we, Kurt? Jesus. Look at Sean trying to grapple and wrestle. Good for him. It's a good thing this isn't a shoot. This match will be over in about 4.5 seconds. And Sean will require medical assistance to leave. Yeah, me and Kurt, we just gotta have invisible hair. It's there, you just can't see it. I was thinking about taking some of my skin and combing it over so it looks fuller. A lot of people try that. Yeah, I think Hebner, he would leave with Earl, right? When Earl left because of that weird merchandise sketchiness. And then I think they both went to TNA. Oh, my. I remember watching Earl. Fucking ref Starcade. And then, like, 2 months later, he was, like, the twin referee in the Hogan-Andre thing. Alexis, is this my favorite Kurt Angle match at WrestleMania? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes. 1,000,000%. Match with Eddie the year before was good. Brock one was good, but so much surrounding that. Kurt's neck, Brock's botch. This match was so beautiful. And that one they would run this back in the summer, right? It was either Vengeance or whatever the fuck the July thing is called. Pretty sure it happened there, and I remember liking that match just as much as this one. And Sean got the win in that one. Ooh, Punk versus Sean in a shoot fight. I'll go Punk. I'll go CM Punk. Oof. Oh, right on. Oh, wow, that's really early on this ankle lock. Nice reversal by Sean. Angle always took the over-the-top rope bump weird. He doesn't take it like everybody else. He kind of twists forward and almost lands on his head. It looks really good, but he has this very specific way of taking it. I mean, he doesn't take it any other way. All right, one table is already coming apart. Yeah, you think, frosted tips should have been done by now, right? I don't have any tips to frost, unless I frost my bush, Could always do that. Ugh. Ooh, look at Kiedis getting into it. Anthony Kiedis enjoying this match on the outside. I love to see that. I've always liked the Chili's. Oh. Me against Greg Gagne in a shoot fight? I don't know. Depends on what year. I could probably take him now, but this is Vern's son we're talking about. You can't grow up weak being the son of fucking Vern Gagne and living in the Midwest where it's balls cold and you have to have thick and strong everything to survive. Same thing with Calgary. Not only did you have to, were you Stu Hart's son, you're doing all of this in like the bitter, cold, most harshest of fucking conditions known to man. I mean, you have to be double tough. I mean, at least with the Guerreros and stuff, you had the great climate of Mexico where it's just warm and awesome. Fucking those cold weather cities, trying to do an athletic or tough style of work or fight probably just makes you tougher being in the cold. That's why Rocky was so tough, man, in Philly. If Rocky was in Miami, he'd be a pussy. Fucking cold weather. That's why I don't want to get into the shoot fighting business. I live in too nice of a climate. I'll be worse off than CM Punk was. Yeah, I saw that DDP offered help to Big E. I thought that was really cool, but it also felt like a way to promote DDP yoga at the same time. So I'm not really sure what his true motivations are. I'm sure DDP's great. I'm sure he has love in his heart. Everybody's been, showing support for Big E and just wants to help him. But I think his recovery should at least be based on what the doctors are telling him so far. WWE's former physician, I guess, did an interview where he did say that Big E's wrestling career could be in jeopardy because of the disc that was fractured is basically the worst one that you would want to have fractured. It often is the one that results in immediate death or paralysis when displaced, but it wasn't. It was just fractured, but it heals differently and it also often heals incompletely, which is what he said, which is just devastating news to hear. So that's just one man's opinion. Let's hope that that's not the case. It's just what he thinks could be a possibility. So that really sucks. I don't think I'd be able to handle that if he had to retire. That'd be unbelievably unfortunate. I don't know if Earl will join the Hall of Fame in WWE. I feel like he should, but they haven't put any referees in yet. Part of me thinks that if they did put referees into the Hall of Fame, they should have Joey Morella be the first one, almost like as a tribute to Gorilla Monsoon in a way, and also, to start it off right because, Earl kind of left on bad terms and stuff, and I think Joey Morella would be the perfect guy. I mean, he reffed Hogan and Andre, the biggest match arguably in wrestling's history, so I think he'd be the perfect guy to go in first, and then maybe put the Earls and stuff in. And I think nowadays it could probably be even easier because the Hall of Fame's bullshit, and they could probably just quickly put him in a legacy batch or have him come out and make a 2-minute speech instead of a 30-minute speech like has been the case for the last 10 years. So I think now, maybe more than ever, refs have a chance. We're going for some sort of I don't know if it's belly-to-belly from the second. I don't even know how you take a bump like this. Yep. Shawn's going probably just the elbow drop here. Oh, and he missed. He missed big. Straps are off. Crowd seems into every bit of this, too. This would have been such a cool match to see live. Oh, God. Angle versus Shamrock in a shoot fight. Just depends on which, 20 years ago or what. I would probably say Shamrock, just based on what Daniel Puder did to Angle. If Puder did that to Angle, imagine what Shamrock would do to him. So, Shawn is way up there. Oh! Yikes. That didn't look too great. Shawn he kind of fell off there. It was an ugly looking spot, but. Oh, he might have just done that on purpose. Shawn might have purposely made that look wonky because he's busy selling that leg. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. A lot of Kurt Angle's best stuff was in TNA. I think that's a common opinion. Especially when you're saying a lot of his best stuff. You're not saying all of his best stuff because he had great shit in WWE, but he was in TNA longer. And he had awesome matches and feuds and runs there. Joe, AJ, all that stuff he was doing. Look at that. I couldn't even imagine if he hit that German to the table. Low blow. All right, he's going to go for his moonsault here. Does he hit this or does he miss? I don't even know. He hits it. Oh. Table did not break. All right, Shawn, that one didn't look like it killed him. The one, I hate watching it back, the one he did with against Flair in his retirement match, he moonsaulted into the table. I'm like, how did he not break every fucking rib that he had? Look at that fucking spot by Shawn. My God. Right in front of Adam Sandler. Love it. And Sandler's like, holy fuck. And right in front of Anthony Kiedis. That's so great. Yeah, they're only up to 4 here before the count out. Yeah, I remember when Angle debuted on the ECW in 06. I wasn't even sure how it was going to work, and then next thing you know, he was gone. Never really had a chance to get off the ground. There's a sign in the audience that says unleaded $2.45 a gallon. I think that's meant to be a complaint about how high gas is. It is double that now. Damn, yeah, Angle is bleeding hard. Oh. And they do such a good job of I mean, Angle literally looks like he's just in rough shape, like he's in the middle of the fight of his life. They both kind of look like that, but Angle really does. Yeah, gas high was high in '05, but this is California. This is LA where they are now. I lived on the East Coast at the time. I live in California now, but at the time it was not nearly as high where I lived. Just like now, I see people complain that it's like $4 a gallon. I'm like, here it's over four. It's like $5.80 a gallon or something here. So it's nuts. I mean, high gas prices suck, but at the end of the day, as long as you're not driving a huge SUV and carting 1,000 kids around or something, or driving 1,000,000 miles, you know, it's probably going to translate into at most $20 more a month, you know, which for most people isn't great, but it can be affordable, you know, so it's not like the end of the world. But I think it's just more annoying than anything else. I don't like going to the pump and putting $61 in my fucking Honda. It's annoying. But oof. Ankle lock. You should, Sean. I always wondered why he tuned up the band so much. I mean, I would not be telling a guy like Angle that I'm about to hit him with a super kick, and you have 15 seconds to prepare for it. Of course, he's going to grab you and hook the ankle lock in. Sean fighting, Angle bleeding. Oh, Sean went for the reversal, and Angle held it and kept it. So great, and I love that Sean's just going to fight. Everybody, look at the fans. Everyone, stand. Come on, Angle, pull him back. This is where you do it. Jericho does the same thing. Come on. Yeah. What would Sean do the next year? Oh, Vince. He'd work with Vince. That's a fun match, too. Oh, and he did make it to the ropes. I was almost thinking he would keep fighting until he tapped. Angle slam. Nope. Sean, reversal. Sunset. No. Oh, and Angle reversed the sunset flip right into the ankle lock. Oh, nice. Almost a victory roll-ish. Counter. Oh. Big Angle slam up. He can't cover. And Sean kicks out. I'm loving the fans in this. I always loved it when Angle would cry in a match. Oh, straps back on now. Okay. I love that he took him off again. That's the greatest. Oh, he's going for that beautiful Kurt moonsault. Is he going to miss this? No water in the pool. Oof. I was in attendance. I was sitting about 10 rows behind the announce desk when Angle did the moonsault off the cage on Raw against Benoit. I was at that show, and I got to see that. It was badass. I was in Richmond, I think. Sean taking advantage of the miss by Angle, but you better hurry if you want to drop that elbow. Oh, Angle's I love that running. Oh wow, I thought he over rotated. On the Angle slam from the top. That was the best near fall of the whole match. I mean, that was basically a second rope, in a lot of ways, a top rope, Angle slam. I think every fan in the building thought that was the finish. So good. Oh, wow. Damn, he's pissed. Damn, just screaming in his face. Oh, he super kicks him here, I think. Yeah. Boom. Oh. God. Knocked his ass right out. He did something similar to Ric Flair in the retirement match. He just kicked him out of nowhere. I mean, he landed that. It looked perfectly, too. Show a replay of that. The way Angle sold it. Fucking great. Crowd's loving this. Look at the girl up in the top left there. Oh, perfect. Come on, make the cover there. Shawn, you're there. You could have had your arm on him like 10 seconds ago. Oh. Angle was late. It looked like on that. I have not looked. I have no idea the order of these matches. Do we get the sumo shit next? It feels like we're going to have something to breathe after this. I know we got that Piper's Pit still coming, and we got 2 world title matches. Oh. Is this the finish of him just waking right up and doing it? He's got it on now. It's going to be hard for Shawn to... Oh, my God. He's wrenching it hard, too. Up, Shawn. Up, nope. Angle. Shawn tried to kick him out. Or kick him off. He hung on. And here's where he's just fighting like a maniac. And Kurt is relentless. Fucking tenacious. Grapevine it. Come on, Kurt. Pull him back and grapevine it. I love Shawn fighting. There you go. You ain't going nowhere now. Fans know it too. That hideous position. Taz is fucking selling it. He's not even on commentary. He's loving it. Look at him nodding his head. Cole's just, look at him. Love to see Cole and Taz marking out for this. Even though they're not, you can't hear them. You got to tap, Shawn. Come on, Shawn, you fucking dramatic fuck. Come on. He's trying. There's no, I don't think you make the ropes here. I mean, I don't recall the exact finish, but I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Tapping. That was a great match. God, huge win for Angle. Angle does not have a wonderful record at WrestleMania, to be honest. I think he won his first... No, he won like 17 and 18. Didn't he? Did he beat Kane? What did he do at 18? And I know he beat Benoit at 17. But he lost at 16. Lost twice, basically, at 16. Lost at 19. Lost at 20. Lost at 22. Like, this is it. This is like his best moment by far. Piper's Pit is next. Yeah, that was a pretty damn good match. I mean, they can pretty much already consider this match or this pay-per-view a success by this point because you already had Taker and Orton, which was great. Edge winning the ladder match, and then this. You had your Hogan nostalgia. You're about to have Piper and Austin. You couldn't even fuck this up if you wanted to. At this time, I didn't love Cena or Batista. I didn't really like either of them that much. Didn't dislike them, but it was hard for me to get behind Batista after losing Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar, to me, was 10 times better in the ring than Batista. And to me, he wasn't filling the void full enough in my mind. And then Cena just, wasn't really into him yet. Didn't care. Sean, you didn't give a little guy. Oh, look at May and Moolah. In person. We saw Mae Young, right? I was like about to say, where did I see Mae Young recently? And I wasn't expecting it. I think it was the last time we did a watch along at WrestleMania 10. She was sitting in the, I think with like the fake Bill Clinton or something. And she wasn't even on TV yet. They weren't even mentioning her, but she was still at all the shows back then. Piper is another guy that, why couldn't they get him in there doing something at WrestleMania 20? He was at 19, just like Hogan, and he was at 21, but they both missed 20. Yeah, I think Piper and Austin, I mean, they just barely missed each other. You could have actually gotten Piper and Austin a program done, but one was in WWE and one was in WCW. And Piper did come back to WWE in 96 as the president, but Austin wasn't really on the map quite yet with Stone Cold, and then Piper would leave and go to WCW. And while he was there was when Austin got over. But if you could have put it together, if you could get like 80s Piper against modern day Austin, that would be great. I miss when they did the Piper's Pit off to the side, like when they had the set, just like the Snake Pit and Brother Love Show. I almost wish that like the Kevin Owens show and all the talk shows you have now on Miz TV would have that. Okay, so Piper's just talking up Austin. Oh, they bleeped bullshit on Peacock? Why? I don't know. Part of me worries Hogan got a bigger pop. But he was still around, though. I mean, he worked the previous year as the referee. And then I think after that, he was gone for a little while, only to return. I remember seeing on WWE.com, it would have been 04 or 05, like Austin gone from WWE. And then only to come back, possibly right here. Because he was there every year. The following year, he'd be inducting Brett into the Hall of Fame. Oh, Peacock is family friendly. The streaming platform with cock in its name is worried about somebody saying shit on a wrestling show during the Ruthless Aggression era. I like they just tossed out the little chairs. Yeah, this is going to be a little tougher, Piper. This is going to be tougher than Morton Downey Jr. here. Or just Morton Downey. Is that what his name was? Oh, that was a weak-ass slap, Piper. Pretty sure with Austin, when he left, it was a contract thing. They just didn't want to work with him anymore or something. Thank you very much for having me, you little son of a bitch. You little son of a bitch. I love that.
Would you like another? Now that we got that out of the way, son. I got a lot of respect for you. I ain't never met you till now. I got a lot of respect for you.
Yeah, Piper and Austin really never had a run-in before now? I guess not. I mean, they were in WWE in 96 together. It was just brief.
I'll tell you something else, son. I got a lot of respect for you sticking up for Vince McMahon. Against him, for him, down on him. You be the man. Try to keep up with me.
Don't you wish you could go back in time and figure out a way to not make the what chance happen? Didn't it happen on some voicemail with Christian and Austin? So we just kidnapped Christian that day. Delete Austin's number from his phone.
Well, if you'd shut up and listen, I'll tell you. What point would that be? You don't understand him either? That's a yes. That would be this part, sir. I was here when WrestleMania.
Yeah. Does Greg remember who interrupts this? I have no idea who interrupts this at all. Y'all should spit in my face for not knowing that. I am not cool. I have no idea who interrupts him. Does anybody know? You want to tell me? Somebody as uncool as me doesn't deserve to know. If you're gonna spit in my face, I'd prefer if you were eating something just to make it worse. Maybe like maybe like a fruit or something. Oranges are good. Apples will probably work pretty good. So do one of those and spit it at me for not knowing because I'm stupid. What is a mealy mouth bastard anyway? I don't even know what that is.
Much less you. You come out here talking your trash in your little black jacket,
Your little black jacket.
shirt, your little red dress,
Your little red dress.
gimmicks,
Your furry gimmicks.
boots, your little goatee. Looks like you can't run off. Am I supposed to be impressed by you? Are you supposed to intimidate me? Am I supposed to be scared? Because there's something going on here that I'm just not understanding because for some reason you don't scare me one single bit.
The mark on Piper's neck from where Austin slapped him.
No, think about it a little longer. What we have here is failure to communicate.
Y'all look like you're communicating just fine.
What
Oh my God, who's this guy? Is that guy carrying an apple? Ooh, that's spooky. I just said that.
Look at you. Arguing and slapping each other like little girls.
Yeah, like all like little girls arguing and slapping.
You guys shouldn't be arguing. I mean, you guys have one thing in common. Neither of you two is cool.
He just said they weren't cool. Just like I got done saying I wasn't cool. That's really weird. What are the odds of that? The only thing weirder is if he gets in the ring and like bites the apple and spits in their face. Like if he does that, I will fall out of my chair because that would just be too weird. Bring your little nappy head in the ring. Careful, Don Imus. Yeah, Piper, I have the same question. I haven't even heard this guy before.
Quit talking, get your ass in here. You want to fight? Relax, relax. You see?
Relax.
Carlito's the new thing around here. And Carlito's taking charge. And that's cool. So I would appreciate it.
This guy seems dumb to want to come down here and provoke them.
Down to the back.
Oh, he wants him to leave so he can have the ring and eat his apple? Because whenever I eat fruit, I like to do it in front of 20,000 people.
I want you and him to walk on out of here. Or you want me to follow him? I don't care what you do, but I'll tell you this. If you guys got a problem with that,
If they have a problem with that, you can just eat my apple. That's nice. He's going to give him the apple. Oh, yeah, see?
yeah, I got a problem with that, Matt.
Oh, Piper is eating the apple. Good. It was free. It looked like he was giving it to him anyway, so. Damn, he's eating the whole thing? How many bites do you need? Oh, he spit it right in his face. God. That has got to be one of the craziest coincidences ever. I literally like laid out that whole thing, and that's exactly what happened. Who would have saw that coming? That's almost as coincidental as Lou Gehrig dying of Lou Gehrig's disease. Like, what are the odds of that, you know? Finally, Austin's going to help him out. Carlito, you're in big trouble. Oh, you lost the apple. It's still wet. You still have to walk it dry. Big stunner to Carlito, and Piper tosses him over. After something like that, I would be in the mood for a frosty beverage. So hopefully these two guys will hit the bar and have maybe a couple of beers with each other. Or they could do it here. Even better. Man, I'm on a roll. I'm just calling things that are happening. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just instincts. You can't teach that. Oh, Austin should just punch this guy. That's what I would do. He was kind of rude to him at first. He did slap him in the face, no doubt, so I don't know if I would just have a couple beers and leave. I'd probably want to make it clear to him that that's not cool. Is Piper struggling to open his Miller Lights? It's not that hard, Roddy. I don't think you don't know how to drink beer like that. He's got it all in his eyes. He hates it. You got to get it in your mouth, not your eyes. That's why those pussy-ass athletes have to wear goggles when they celebrate. Piper cannot even handle these things. Who taught you how to handle beer? Helen Keller? Oh, bra and panties match between Stone Cold and Piper. Okay. Piper looks already drunk. He's so wobbly and wonky as it is. Look at how spazzy he looks. Oh, yes. I told you he needed that. This is uncanny. I had no idea that all these things I was just calling were going to happen. Look at Piper just twitch. He's such a twitchy-ass spaz. He's like, not right. Population 420. I'm so happy you're here. Good to see you, man. Appreciate the $2. WrestleMania 21, definitely one of your favorites. Yeah, seems to be the case. Everyone was happy when I picked this one. It's been a long time since I've watched this too, so we'll think about what to do next week. I'm thinking 18 is a good possibility. I'll have a Corona every now and then, sure. If it's the summertime and I'm at a fried seafood restaurant, fuck yeah, bring me a Corona.
Ready to make some more history here at WrestleMania tonight? It is time for the first ever sumo match. We're going to set it up to our ring announcer.
Oh, sumo match time. The celebrities are probably like, what the fuck is this?
The winner, you must either push your opponent outside the circle or knock him off his feet.
Outside the circle. They only did this one other time, and it was like in 93 or 4 or something, and it was Yokozuna and Earthquake. And Big Show was always the dude to put over the outsiders, man. He had to face Mayweather. What else did he do that he lost? Is Akibono still with us? He's 6'8". I don't remember anything about Akibono. I don't know anything about sumo wrestling. This is such a weird match to have. It's like such a great WrestleMania, and then they give you this shit. I'm like, what are you doing? Vince is like Chaz's mom in Wedding Crashers. What is he doing? I never know what he's doing back there. It doesn't look right without the ropes. Fucking hate that. It's like when they have the weddings. Is he really going to come out to his Big Show music here? Yes, he is. Okay. This match is better than Angle and HBK. Strange Pete. I think you're drinking some strange juice. Oh, he's wearing a thing, too. Oh, he's looking good. That thing looks very comfortable. Just like that shit Muhammad Hassan was wearing earlier. I'm like, I'd wear that around the house. He looks like he's coming to the ring for a massage. He's got flip-flops on in this Bengal tiger flowing robe. Looks like he's about to disrobe and get oiled up. Like literally nobody asked for this. First time I ever saw Big Show live was WrestleMania 15. Oh, God. Oh, Big Show's definitely in better shape. Oh, that's a lot of... I don't remember it being this revealing. Ah. Oh. No squatting. And if you're going to squat, not that camera angle, the hard cam, please. Thank you. There needs to be nothing but hard cam angle. I don't need these other two. Oh, God. Ah! This is unpleasant. This is really unpleasant. This is an extremely unpleasant thing to experience. I can think of 10,000 things I'd rather do. One of them would include wiping my ass with a pine cone. Oh, you got to get the salt. Or tossed it. Toss the salt over there. That's what we do at the restaurant. If a bunch of shit gets spilled in the kitchen or something, just dump a bunch of salt on it. This is way too much. You can feel that angst. No, Taz, we can't. We don't want anything to do with this. Okay, yeah, let's redo this whole thing again, of course. Let's squat, yes, okay. Both camera angles, please, so I can get a full look at both guys' ass cracks. I need a little bit more Big Show taint, please, camera 2. If you could just get down a little lower for me, because I need to see more of that part of him. Because I don't know, when it comes to your Big Show matches, I prefer as much inner thigh as I can possibly get. This is stupid. This company, oh yeah, get more salt. Because I don't know where you get your food, but mine don't come seasoned. Akibono kind of looks like Emerald Lagasse a little bit, doesn't he? Oh my God. Are we going to do it now? Can we make contact? Oh, here we go. Is that what you do? You just smack each other like that? Gotta stay in the circle. You get back. Why did they think this was something you do at WrestleMania? This should have been done on goddamn Velocity. Oh, God. Tell me this doesn't last long. Akibono looks way older. Like, his just... Thrusting. I don't want to see Big Show use any thrusting techniques. Oh, and there he goes. Oh, he sold it, too. All the way out. Oh, Big Show, you jobbed. Oh. There's no part of this. Oh, my God. This thing's fucking giving me a heart attack. How much of that do we need to see? Now you got to shake his hand. Maybe they touch butts just to solidify the victory. Please tell me Akibono doesn't have a hole in the front of his... Oh, no. That's just the gold. Okay. Phew. Phew. Oh, look, he's all happy. He's like, you threw me down, man. You hit my head. Big Show should have turned on him right there and hit him with the big right hand. I don't even remember the story behind this, why they even did it. Why they did it. I have no idea. No idea why they did it. I'm flabbergasted. Yeah, I'm assuming you guys are watching this with me, or if you're just listening to me react to it, but it's fucking awful. Oh, good. JBL and Cena, finally. Anything's better than that. Very, very smart match placement there, giving us not only Piper and Austin, but that sumo bullshit after Shawn and Angle. Gave fans a little cool down here before they get a match that's not going to be super great in the ring. All right, while we're running through the Cena and JBL video package, I'm going to go to get another Stella and get another type of refill, and I'll be right back. We are back. Thank you for waiting. We still have the video package going on, so we haven't missed anything. JBL, AJ did have his fans. I liked him okay when he was in the APA and stuff. He just had a bad rep at this point. You know, he not only was he heel and he came off like a douchebag, apparently he was one, just with his bullying and his bullshit and that stuff he did to the Blue Meanie. He's just jerk off. He's such a jerk off. Fucking blowhard. Whatever you do, don't try this at home. Isn't that music? Ronnie, what's up, man? Glad you're here. Fire up WrestleMania 21. Hang out with us. Hopefully it wasn't too long of a day at work for you. Now Cena is getting arrested for vandalism. Yeah, APA, Bradshaw, and JBL were two completely different people. He deserves credit for that. He pulled off this character well, and this was also during the time too when George Bush was president. You know, so he kind of had that like kind of Texas type of vibe. I don't know, it just fit for the time. I thought, you know. I just hated not only the character, but who JBL was, too. And I think the only thing that really put me over the edge, I think, was the Blue Meanie stuff. I just thought there was no excuse for that. And that's a type of thing that should get you blackballed from wrestling, you know? If that happened on the indie level, you know, you'd have, I mean, it's happened, you know, people fucking go ape shit on Twitter and you are screwed for life, you know? And for him to do that and take advantage, such a douchey fucking thing to do. After that, it was kind of like a dead to me type of situation. There's just no redemption for that. So uncalled for. Yeah, JBL and Blue Meanie made up. I'm glad that that's been resolved. And it got resolved pretty quick, too, because Blue Meanie got to come in and beat JBL on TV as a punishment. I think it was Stevie Richards that gave JBL one fucking hell of a receipt with a chair shot. But still, like, I'm glad at least JBL hopefully feels a little bad about that. You know what? I forgot about this. I have a JBL buck. I have 2 or 3 of them. As you can see behind me, I've always been into like collecting like DVDs and VHS tapes of wrestling and stuff like that. But I have random memorabilia, and I think I came across some JBL bucks on eBay for like $10 or something. And I'm like, let's buy some JBL bucks. So I have them somewhere. I don't know where they are, but I got a few. I'm going to use my mobile deposit app on my phone and see if I can deposit those JBL bucks in my account. See what happens. It's raining $100 Bradshaws. I'm loving it. I wish it was raining $100 Benjamins. Are people really running for these things? They know it. That would be such a bad idea if they dropped, because the Young Bucks do it too. But if they did drop legit Benjis from the roof, oh my God. It'd be a fucking riot in there. Maybe it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I guess people who could afford to go to WrestleMania probably wouldn't need to trample somebody for $100. But they probably would. Look at all of them falling. Fucking millions of dollars, man. I'd be going after a few. Like, you know what? I'm going to make a profit at this WrestleMania. Walk out of the arena with $1,000 in my pocket. That will be sweet. Yeah, I think the Vince McMahon stuff was legit, as far as I know. All right, so we got through that long-ass JBL entrance. Here comes John Cena. There was just something about this I didn't like. I really, at this time, was starting to get checked out with wrestling a little bit, but also I really, really missed Brock Lesnar. I thought that was a huge loss for WWE because I thought he could have, you know, he was going to do a decent enough job of filling that huge Austin and Rock void that was left when they were kind of out of the ring and gone. And I'm like, well, at least they got Brock. I mean, he's not the same thing, but, you know, athletically, he's giving us better matches than Rock or Austin ever did. And that was such a big loss. And so them now transitioning into 2 new stars who are both going to be crowned, you could see it coming. You saw it coming at the Royal Rumble. You know, the winner is going to win one championship and the runner-up is going to win the other. And then they had that huge botch and they had to do it again with Batista winning. So Batista, to me, it was just I wasn't a huge fan of either guy. I didn't dislike either guy. But Batista, I was like, he's not Brock. To me, it was like he was a poor substitute for Brock. Batista had an amazing look, but, you know, he was more like a Luger to me. You know, Batista could turn it on and work when he wanted to. He does a pretty good job in the Triple H match, but not like Brock would have done, you know. So, and then Cena, I just didn't know what to make of him yet. But I remember at the time thinking, and the Eddie Guerrero death later on would really kind of check me out for a while of wrestling. But I remember around this time thinking of like, it's going to be really hard for me to really go out of my way to keep up with WWE when I'm in the middle of my, you know, restaurant managing career and so much going on. When there's 2 champions, I don't really care much about. So it was hard to care at this time, basically for me. That's why stuff like Randy Orton and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Kurt Angle always kept my interest. And this is a pretty unremarkable match from what I remember. No qualities, no class. Fucking Nick Patrick is the official for this. I think their follow-up matches they would have here would be much better. That was the I Quit match they had where Cena needed a fucking blood transfusion after. The Oakland Raiders. I don't know what Nick Patrick is up to these days. I don't recall when he last officiated in WWE. He was there for the longest time. I don't even recall when or if. Look at the size of that sign. Jesus. I don't recall when he departed or if he's still there in some capacity. He might be. I actually don't know. WWE's done an excellent job of making the referees invisible. I don't even think about them or notice they're there anymore. And WWE, that's what they wanted. They achieved that. Back in the day, it kind of mattered who the refs were. They would at least mention them by name or something, but now they pretend that they're just holograms. They're just digital matter in the ring to count the three. Cena had an impressive WrestleMania run there. It was very reminiscent of Hogan's because I started thinking of Cena like Hogan after WrestleMania 23. I thought WrestleMania 22 was surprising enough. I watched WrestleMania 22 that night expecting Triple H to beat John Cena. It felt like the fans wanted that. People were over Cena. They felt like they had temporarily forgiven Triple H for the Reign of Terror stuff, and they were ready to see him win. And when Cena tapped him out, I was super surprised, you know, and then I think they were setting up to have Triple H take the title from him the following year, but he got hurt, which set John Cena up in another situation to retain the title. So going into 23, I kind of thought that, oh, they must be giving Shawn his final run with the world title before he retires, was kind of my thought going into the match with Cena, and then Cena tapped him out too. And I'm like, man, not since Hogan has somebody retained like this back-to-back at WrestleManias. It was pretty incredible. I think Hogan and Cena are the only guys to do it. Hogan retained, I mean, because he didn't defend at WrestleMania 1, so you can't really count that, but he retained at 2 and 3. And then after that, he didn't retain twice again. It was just that. Kevin Nash retained at 11, but nobody's back-to-back retained, right, other than Cena and Hogan? You can probably find examples, since there's been 2 world titles, there's probably some undercard Mania shit where they've retained. So maybe limiting it to main event would make more sense. Oh, God. Watch along WrestleMania 13 might be fun as well because we get to watch Bret and Austin. I have fond memories of that one too. In the new WWE game, they blur the referees' faces in the archive footage. That's crazy. Ugh. And the funny thing is now I think it would make more sense to acknowledge the referees more since we've seen so much diversity now. You know, there was never women referees. Now we got a few of them. We even have a black woman referee in WWE. And you never saw that back in the day. So I think they make sure they acknowledge it here or there, and a lot of that stuff's done on social media too. But I think it would be cool if they made even a bigger deal about it than it is. Because now the referees are just there to be in the background, which is their job, but they're extra invisible now. And I just don't think that's logical. The wrestlers are the stars. They're the ones in the front on the spotlight. The referee shouldn't be there to take the spotlight by any means, but you should always know who the referee is. If you're trying to fucking pretend that this is a real athletic contest, And that's the little details that we don't get in WWE that I'm glad we do get in AEW. You know, where they, in every championship match, you know, they announce the official. I like that. It's little things like that that I like in my wrestling. WWE just feels like they're, you know, literally trying to be just a comic book coming to life type of thing. And none of that type of shit matters. What do you say, Cena? Well, he's supposed to go to sleep. I don't think you submit from a sleeper hold. I love Cena's shoes because I had black Reebok pumps in 7th grade. No, 8th grade. Excuse me, 8th grade. I had black ones and white ones. And if you came to school with them 2 orange balls on your feet, it was very important to kids back then to have like name brand shoes. Looking back, it's so fucking dumb. I wish I could always go back in time and wear the ugliest shoes possible and tell any kid to fuck off who gave me shit. Yeah, Steven, it's hard to disagree with your favorite WrestleMania match pick. Undertaker and Shawn is pretty much mine too. In terms of, I can't really think of one that I've loved more. And this is also if you're like forced to pick one. I don't really like to even answer that question because there's too many of them that I like. But if I get kidnapped and held at gunpoint and they say, we will kill you if you don't tell us what your favorite WrestleMania match is, then I will say Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, but only under those circumstances. Thanks for the $2 there, Steven. Does Wardlow remind me of a clone of Batista? A little. I think he almost resembles Roman Reigns more than Batista. But yeah, now that we're starting to get to know him a little bit and he's coming into his own, I do see some Batista in him. He's awesome. I think Wardlow's great. I mean, I think he's got a chance. I think he's got just as good a chance to surpass Batista in terms of legacy in wrestling. I mean, he's off to a good start here. He's starting to gain some traction and get noticed. People praised his promo on Wednesday. Every time we've seen him in the ring, he's been pretty good. Even his like first match or second match, whatever it was against Cody, was fantastic. People were like, wow, this Wardlow guy is good. When I first saw him, I was under the assumption that he was probably just a really big, good-looking guy who probably can't, wrestle for shit in the ring, and he proved me wrong immediately, and I was so happy to see it. He's one of my favorite guys in AEW right now. I'm pro Wardlow. Oh, the gimmick battle royal was so great when they did that. I was calling the hotlines and trying to read as much internet and newsletter reports as I could to find out the latest with the sale of WCW and the latest names being talked about and tossed around for the gimmick battle royal. I was so excited for the gimmick battle royal once it was announced. Because you got to remember, that was that was right at the buyout, at the WCW buyout. So that really opened up the door for a lot of people to be used, specifically Bobby Heenan and Mean Gene. West Newbury, Massachusetts. How close is that fucking city to Boston? I used to spend summers on Cape Cod, but I don't know anything about the other parts of Massachusetts. Oh, my God. All right, Cena, do your fuckle knuckle shuffle and let's go home. Pull your pants up. Nice. Being 9 years old and your parents let you stay up for WrestleMania 17, right on. I was 24, living in my apartment. I could stay up as late as I want, live by myself. It was bliss. A one-bedroom penthouse on the 3rd floor. F you. The AA. Ugh. I never liked Cena's finisher, and I never liked... Well, the FU I did kind of like. But I don't like that they changed it to AA. But like a fireman's carry as a finisher, I don't understand. Oh, yeah, you got to jump in the fans, right? Yeah, this show was 17 years ago. It just blows my mind. I'll brush your mouth like Colgate. He just fell right into them. That's great. Everybody, don't let them steal that championship. WWE champion. Okay. We just watched John Cena's first championship victory. He would go on to win 1 or 2 more after this. How many times has Cena been world champion? 3? 4? I think it's 4. Yeah, he won a few matches after this before, WWE released him because they never had anything for him. Yo, Timu. What's up, man? All right. Oh, I thought Michael Cole was about to say, the time is indeed now for something important. I'm like, okay, cool. What is it? And then he said, for John Cena's title run. I'm like, oh, yeah, the time is now. I kind of didn't put that together. All right. So what's next? Oh, here's the Hall of Fame again. See, I wish the Hall of Fame would be like this again. I don't think it ever will.
My father and I closer together than we had ever been. Cowboy, Bobby, I would like to thank everyone who took their life into their own hands getting in the ring with me.
16, are you sure? Are you sure it's not 4? Nikolai, rest in peace. Fucking Iron Sheik. I loved Iron Sheik was my favorite. I would just like it to say. He just kept saying that over and over. I think this WrestleMania season I'm going to watch some Hall of Fames just for fun because I miss these. These were so fun for me. God, everybody went in, huh? Fucking Jimmy Hart too. Steven, I don't know, man. Appreciate the $2. I got to think about that.
Into a family that I was desperate to have because I wasn't going nowhere.
Piper looks good. Look at them stitches on Benoit. Oh, the Hall of Fame. Stallone doing Hogan was weird. Should have been Vince. Should have been Vince. I do like that he called him the Incredible Hulk Hogan because that's cool. That's what he used to be called when I was a kid. I love that setup that they have. I just wish it could go back to that. Why can't they just make it that? Why can't they just do that? I don't understand.
It's you
I like the idea of moving this to SummerSlam because WrestleMania is too crowded now. Good stuff. All right, Mean Gene. What's going on here?
Thank you very much. Last night, ladies and gentlemen, 7 more superstars inducted into the WWE.
Oh yeah, the Hall of Fame segment. Steven, I can't even think of any Final Fours, much less name my favorite one. So I don't even know. I have terrible memory with that. I'm not a good trivia person. If you give me some Final Four examples, I'll probably be like, yeah, that one's my favorite. Oh, look at Michelle McCool with Nikolai. That's kind of funny. Oh, shut up, Taz. You don't remember that. I love that Sheik and Volkov both went in. They won tag team gold at WrestleMania 1. Look at Candace. I love Sheik's. Whoever the hell runs Sheik's Twitter page is the best. Mean, woo, by God, Gene. I remember on Nitro, when we come back from the break, I'll be naked. Ugh. Yeah, Orndorff didn't really have theme music. In WWE, anyway. Jackie Gata with him. She's almost out of uniform. Orndorff.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr.
Nice. Maria's got Cowboy Bob. Oh, your hand is miraculously healed now. You know what? I wasn't even paying attention to when the Sheik came out. What was the song? It was the Sultan's theme. He did use that, but did they play it here? I can't rewind it. It'll fuck my timer up. Joy Giovanni. I kind of remember her. Piper. My favorite Piper theme was his 80s and 90s WWE theme. The one that he used from like 89 to 92 or whatever. I liked that one. They should have never changed it. Yeah, Jimmy Hart always looks the same. He's always got those glasses on, so. I used to give him such a hard time for Legends House. I remember watching that thinking, like, what is wrong with him? He seems so weird. My girlfriend gets so mad. She loves Jimmy Hart. And I'm like, I don't dislike Jimmy Hart or anything. I just think he's really strange. I don't know what. He just seemed like a fucking dude I wouldn't want to be sharing. Oh, of course, Hogan gets Stacy. I wouldn't want to, like, share a house with him. I'd be scared that something might happen. Unpleasant. Look at his young kids. This is before the fucking wheels came off. This is like they're still a happy family at this point. That show didn't ruin them. And his son turned out to be a fuck up, and his daughter got all mixed up in the fame, and he made a sex tape and everything else ridiculous that happened. The divorce and the ugly split and all the and the bad blood. Ugh. That was like the last happy picture of them together. There you have it. Look at that. Sheik, Volkov, Jimmy Hart, Paul Orndorff, Piper, Hogan. See, what they should have done here for fun is have Orndorff nail Hogan. I mean, he's standing right next to him. He just hit him with a clothesline. Oh, my God, I would have marked out. That feud, Hogan and Piper in 86, might not be a fan without it. That was very real shit to a kid my age. Oh, look at the staple. I've been right to that very fucking front door. That's cool. That's before all the fucking statues and shit were there. I'm trying to see who that couple is standing behind them. If those are, I can't tell. Oh, so this is the main event now. Triple H and Batista. Yeah, we just saw the thumbs up thing this week on Dynamite, too. The house that Kobe built. It's so funny how nobody wants to, like, not call it Staples Center anymore, because it really, I feel the same way, but it is funny how we're clinging to just another company owning the name. It's not like they're taking an actual name away. I miss when we had things like Silver Domes and Super Domes and Candlestick Parks and Soldier Fields and, you know, when everything was like that until all the sponsors came in. I think it's funny that we really care that it switched sponsors, but I'm going to miss calling it the Staples Center. When I went to that SmackDown show, that first one on Fox when Kofi dropped the title, we stayed at the hotel next door, and we were pretty high up, so our room overlooked the roof. We were right next door of Staples, and it was just cool to like just see the big Staples Center logo, you know, just taking up half the fucking window. It was really awesome. It's going to look weird having a different logo on top of that. Yeah, I didn't know how I felt about this storyline. It's just an age thing. Like, I can see fans a bit younger than me probably thinking this was okay. But where we're in wrestling and how things had changed and got to this point, I was only, like, mildly okay with it. I was trying to like Batista. I understood what they were doing. You knew that they were going to position Batista to be a big star because they needed to fill the Brock void and all of that, but coming off the Attitude Era and the ruthless aggression and seeing Brock and Angle and all their great work that they did after Austin and Rock were gone, all the great shit of the 90s and Hogan's run and the Mega Powers and all that stuff, you know, by the time we got here, I was worried. I was worried things were getting kind of bad. But Batista turned out to be a great champion. I'm happy to say that he did not disappoint me. I still don't think he's anywhere as good as Brock, but at the end of the day, I was cool with his runs. This main event was supposed to be Brock versus Triple H. Is that what they really had planned a year out? I mean, Brock left 1 year over. He told Vince over a year prior to this that he was leaving. Oh, he gets the Motorhead entrance. That's kind of cool. Lemmy has passed away, correct? I sometimes didn't like the live performances because I like the regular song better. I remember thinking that at WrestleMania 14 when Shawn came out to the live DX performance. I'm like, oh, I kind of wish they would have just done the regular one. That guy died too, I think. The lead singer of that band. I remember there used to be a rumor that he was Triple H's brother. They would play him again, right? Did they play him against Taker? Yeah? Or no? Or did Limp Bizkit play Taker? I think Motorhead played him at 17, maybe. I don't remember. I do like the way he came up Rey Mysterio style. And one thing I would always say about Triple H, too, for all the heat he got, look at how fucking good that title looks on him. I didn't have the YouTube channel at this time, but if I did, fans would have hated me because I would have been defending Triple H. The same way I defended John Cena. I would try to explain that, hey, I hear you about the Triple H complaints. What I'm trying to get you to understand is to pull it back a bit because you're taking your fucking anger to the 10th power and being a little bit silly about it. And I'm saying when you really look at it, it's not that bad, that type of thing. I'd be doing the same thing for him. I was like, yeah, I know he wins a lot. Booker T probably should have beat him at WrestleMania 19, but he doesn't need to be killed. And that mere suggestion would just draw so much hate back in the day when it came to the mentally unstable John Cena hating nuts. So yeah, it would suck. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, Triple H pulls people down and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I know it's fun to repeat everything you read in the dirt sheets, but come on. I was like, I can read that shit too. This part sounds pretty good. Should probably turn this down, actually. I still think Triple H was like, in terms of like Attitude Era megastars that it created, he's probably like number 4 even, 3 or 4 on my list, behind Austin, Rock, and maybe even Taker. But I still really always appreciated Triple H's work, and I thought he tried to kind of emulate a career sort of like a Ric Flair, and I thought he did a pretty good job of doing that. Politics plays a role in with everybody winning titles. Triple H isn't the first guy to do it. Fucking Hogan and Nash and fucking even Austin, everybody, just Shawn and every other champion we love played politics. Why is Triple H the only guy that got heat for it? Austin fucking walked out of the goddamn company because he didn't want to do business. But yeah, Triple H got all the hate. It was just weird. That being married to Stephanie thing doesn't help, excuse me. Because that's going to automatically create the assumption that everything you get is because of that. And that was probably only half true. Oh, did he not have the pyro yet? He didn't even have his rock star music yet either. It was still that old school shit. I was expecting all this shit to go off. I forgot he hasn't found that yet. He'll probably get pyro later. Yeah, I actually kind of thought this theme was okay. I kind of agree with you. I didn't love a lot of WWE's like just hard, crazy metal themes because it seemed like there were so many of them. It was just getting old. But I thought Walk Alone was okay. But yeah, just this I thought was all right too. They kind of did the same thing with RVD. Remember, he came in and he kind of had that. It had a good beat to it, but it was just super, super generic. And then, you know, when a band performed it, it was a little bit more energetic and over the top. See, I would have preferred them take this theme that they have here and just spice it up a little. Just give it some, I don't know, extra background. I don't know shit about music. Whatever you do to spice up a song. Remember when they used to spice up the rock song little by little? You know, and by the end, it had the guitar bending notes and all that shit. You know, do that with his and make it like that. I think it would have been just as good as I Walk Alone. Yeah, every song was like saliva and stuff, and I don't dislike that type of music. I just don't really listen to it. So it was just too much. Every fucking theme was like that. And I'm like, can't you have a wrestler's theme that sounds like Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe? Never trust a big butt and a smile. Take my word for it. Oh, shut up, Lawler. Oh, it's perfectly fine for Triple H to not be your cup of tea. No problem. You have the right to not like anybody. Just the reasonings behind it, I think some people, like Cena, were just a little bit misinformed in what the fuck they're talking about. It's better for them. It feels better if they just believe that Triple H is a really bad guy, you know? And when you hear wrestling stories and podcasts or shoot interviews about douchebags in the business, you might hear a couple of Triple H stories, but they're far worse people in the biz. All right, bell has ranged. It's ranged. I don't even think I put Triple H in my top 10 of all time. I don't even like him to that degree. But when the fans decide they hate somebody, they expose how truly fucking ridiculous they really are because they can't contain their emotions. And they take generally good points at their foundation and turn them into idiocy. I'm like, just keep it simple. The road to hell is paved in opinions. Just stick to the facts of the stuff that you actually know and go from there. And it's impossible. It's impossible for people when it comes to guys like that who have that type of heat. They will hear none of it. Nothing will penetrate, no matter how much logic and sense it makes. They absolutely refuse. And I've made peace with that. So instead of trying to convince people now, I'm like, fine, believe what you want. Believe Triple H rapes chickens. Like, what do I care? Chicken raping, I don't recommend either, but if in case you're wondering, I don't condone that. Bret Hart certainly is not a Triple H fan, and that's the thing. That's why I'm trying to show that I'm really trying to be as fair as and honest as possible, because Bret Hart is my favorite fucking wrestler of all time. I'm a huge fangirl for him. So even he isn't going to make me turn against what I believe of Triple H. You know what I mean? Because I believe that I've made my own observation of who I think he is as a professional and who he was. And I can acknowledge all his fuck-ups while appreciating what he did at the same time. And nobody else can seem to do that. And it really isn't hard. I do appreciate them having a little blood in this match because, man, it needed it. That Cena JBL match felt really flat. So this one I'm glad got dirty. Tell me what of these guys... They would have, 3 matches? I think Triple H puts them over 3 pay-per-views in a row, does he not? Of that trilogy? Oh, God. That was close. What was the best match of those? Probably the Hell in the Cell, right? I have not seen that Hell in the Cell match. I've probably seen it one time in my life. So maybe we can watch that in June or whatever month the Hell in the Cell match took place. We can watch whatever pay-per-view that was. I just worry that as good as, I mean, Batista was good, but man, was he really ready for this at this time? After everything I had experienced at this point in wrestling, I was just really having a hard time with this at the time, like I said. Oh, Vengeance 05 was in Vegas, huh? Cool. So it would have been Vengeance, and then the Hell in the Cell was, I guess, the main event of that. Oh yeah, totally. That's the what you gotta have to put out of your mind, Mike. I agree that I think I could swallow the pill of 19 easier, but I do agree with people who are like, oh my God, they should have totally put Booker T over there. Of course they should have. But would it fucking have mattered? Look at what WWE does. They could have put the title on Booker T all they wanted. They also put the title on Chris Benoit and who else? Chris Benoit and Eddie. And what did they do? Yanked them right off of them. They were never champions again. So Booker T would go on to win world titles. So if he won it in 2003, you know what would have happened? Triple H would have won it back from him 1 month later or something like that. That's all that would have happened. So when I look at it, it's not as catastrophic. They didn't miss some big opportunity of launching Booker T. It wasn't even the main event. And the way WWE books things and how Triple H really commanded the spotlight, all that would have done is set Triple H up in a position to win it back again, which I have no doubt he would have. So I never thought it was that big of a deal that he lost. But even though I believed that, I agreed with the fans that said Booker T should have won. Yeah, he should. He should have. But the fact that he didn't, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think meant anything. Booker T has remained in wrestling and had a job and been in a position of something ever since. And he's won championships since then. So he wasn't buried, you know. He still went on to greatness in his own way. And then he's a Hall of Famer. So where's the catastrophe? Where's the travesty? You know, I don't see one. AJ, appreciate the $5. You know what's funny growing up? You know what's funny is growing up, everybody I knew loved Triple H. It wasn't until I joined the IWC that I discovered people hated Triple H. Yeah, and now the IWC I think is pretty much an obsolete term because everybody's on the internet, you know, but the what is it called? The message board days and people like that, you know, would talk and they'd have opinions, and these opinions would circulate and grow and formulate and catch on, and people would start thinking the same way. And then if you start putting out stories that Triple H did something shady backstage, or, oh, he's banging the boss's daughter. I mean, it just, you know, it takes very little imagination to be able to come up with these easy, assumptions about him. And I thought a lot of it was bullshit. I was like, at least it's a dude, and we saw this in NXT when he was running that. This is a dude that really does seem to appreciate wrestling and respect the business and the history of it. And when he's on top, carries himself like a champion. That seems to be really important to him. And I thought at the very least we had that, you know what I mean? And then that came to be, we saw that with his vision of what he made the NXT Black and Gold, you know, and how he really went out and tried to find the best independent talent out there that could have the best matches, and just the way they were tearing it up. And Triple H was so hands-on and trying to better the business, grow the business. He has always been 24/7 the business. Aside from the chaperone and some other bullshit, never left to go do movies and a bunch of stuff. He was just the business. So I always thought that, man, if you're going to have a guy on top that wins a lot of titles, at least it's somebody like that and not somebody like a Goldberg or a Hogan or somebody really at the end of the day don't give a fuck about the business at all. It's just about making their money. So I just thought when it came to champions that were a bad representation of wrestling or harmed wrestling in any way, Triple H isn't even on my list. I just think there's been far worse guys that have done far worse damage, And I believe all of that while also acknowledging that Triple H won too much sometimes. So you can think both ways. You can see both sides. You don't have to be on one side or the other. It's like how I preach it's actually okay to kind of like both wrestling promotions if you want. There's no law against it, You can enjoy a Raw and a Dynamite. It's okay. You won't be carted off to jail or anything. Twitter might hate you, but it's not illegal. No color yet on Batista. I don't recall if it's a chair shot, a ring post shot. He might hit him with the belt. Eddie and HBK at Mania for the next year. I don't even trust that Bruce is telling the truth there, but I have heard a lot of rumors that Eddie was planned to be put back in the title picture. And he could have worked. Somebody brought up it was could have been him and Angle, and that would have been a rematch from WrestleMania 20, which could have been cool as well. That means probably, I guess not, doesn't have to be that way, but Eddie might have won the Rumble because he never won one. Benoit won that one in 2004, so that would have been kind of cool if Eddie won the Rumble like Benoit did and basically had maybe the Benoit moment, but had it at WrestleMania 22. Might have been fun. Oh, I thought Batista it was Triple H got busted open. Okay. I thought it was Batista for some reason. I'm thinking of a different match. What's the Batista bleeding match I'm thinking of? Damn, Flair. Flair yelling at Kyoto. To be fair, it's really hard to enjoy Raw these days. To be fair, it's really a mathematical impossibility to enjoy Raw these days. My God. Last week wasn't horrible, but at least we're in WrestleMania season, so if I'm going to watch Raws at all, it's going to be right now. They are in Jacksonville tomorrow. So my plan tomorrow, Cody shows up, review. Cody no show up, no review. So that's going to be the deal for tomorrow night. Oh, big kick out by Batista. And for all the shit that Triple H got, like, think about what we talked about earlier about the Booker T match, how he won and probably should have lost or whatever. Like, does he not get any credit for any of this? You know what I mean? It's like people they're so mad that they don't realize that what he did here was kind of a big deal for somebody in his position. When was Ric Flair or Hogan putting over motherfuckers 3 pay-per-views in a row back in the day, Triple H had the understanding that Batista's going to be a big star. And Triple H is already at a level where he can put people over and still be Triple H and still return to the world title scene essentially anytime he so desires. And so that's part of what being a star of that magnitude is like. So at least he was willing to put Batista over here and look at what he did the year before. So since the Booker T stuff, he did a whole lot of jobbing, man. He was the one that tapped out to Benoit at WrestleMania 20. And here he puts over Batista and would go on to put him over the next 2 pay-per-views. So what does it take to make up for the Booker T thing? With fans, it seems like nothing. Nothing's going to make up for that. fucking terrorizing. Is going to be terrorizing the locker room and the fans forever. No coming back from that. You fucking kick out of one scissor kick. Oh, over the top rope goes Triple H. Yeah, no, definitely no monthly pay-per-views, but there were programs. So, that would be like Hogan, putting over Orndorff 3 times in a row. It'd just be crazy. Or whoever, or even Andre or something, whoever he lost the title to. But nobody was beating Hogan in 86. Not even Cena in 2007 would beat Hogan in 86. Or I guess I should say Hogan in late 86, early 87. Yeah, he put over Shelton Benjamin. He's lost all the time. But he's won a bunch too. Just like they all have. Oh, God. Oh, this is going to be it. Is he going to slingshot him into the post? Yeah, Triple H has got it in his hand. He's already blading. Look. Ugh, that was not great. See what I mean? See, Triple H is already bleeding. He was bleeding before he hit the ring post. Sometimes I've noticed, like in a lot of the blood spots in AEW, they're kind of doing a bad job at hiding it or hiding the referee passing the gimmick. But Triple H made that shit as obvious. Like right in front of these people, they're like, "Oh, look at that lady. You can freak her out, man." Yeah, oh yeah, and with all that talk about what Triple H did after Booker T, don't forget about the following year, tapping out again. So he had 2 tap outs and a bloody pin in the next 3 WrestleManias after the travesty that took place on the undercard of WrestleMania 19. I think fans hugely overreacted to that situation. Ugh. I kind of forgot that Triple H gets this bloody. Jesus. My memories of this match have him with a lot less blood. I even thought it was Batista that got... Oh, Jesus Christ. Is this safe? Yeah, what does Batista do here? Just fuck him up the rest of the match? Does Triple H have any final offense left? Kicked her right to the side of the head, too. A few months prior to this, too, Triple H got some heat for beating Orton for the title, remember? So he definitely had his ups and downs. It's just like, but like when you got to this point, he can't win. Anytime he ever wins a match, it's always he won because he's married to Stephanie, not because he's a good wrestler, or not because he's over. It's always like he won because he was married to Stephanie. Nia Jax only has the job because she's The Rock's cousin. AEW only signs WWE guys. Like it's just they're just programmed to repeat these nervous ticks. It's the weirdest thing. I'm like, does anybody ever think about what they say, or they just say it? Oh, God, look at Triple H. He's a mess. He's like, I'm done. I'm done. You can just have the title. Do you want it? Here, I'll get it. Rick. Toss me big gold. Nate. It's like the one girl from Scores promised me a handy J in the limo. We can get out of here. We'll just book ourselves to win it back at the next pay-per-view. I don't know what the bloodiest match ever is. That one with Cena could be a candidate. So could the one with Eddie Guerrero and JBL. There's been a lot of bloody affairs. I don't know how you measure it in ounces. I don't know how you measure blood spillage in wrestling. That Hell in the Cell with Taker and Brock, that one, that fucking Taker was a mess in that. A lot of NWA matches, too. Had a lot of blood. And that bloodbath in the AWA with the Rockers and Buddy Rose. And oh, man, there's a bunch. Oh, there's Flair. Spine buster to Nate. Spine buster to your, like, weren't they tag team champions together? That's sad. Do I have your attention now? Was Tully and Magnum bloodier than Cena? Oh, wow. There's the belt shot. Is he going to retain? Wow, he might actually retain. Ooh, what if Batista didn't kick out and Triple H retained? We would have slipped into another universe. I'm like, well, I hope. Oh, I thought he was going to go over the top. Nope, spine buster. Here we go. Man, my memory, it was like a Mandela effect thing. My memory had way less blood than this. I knew there was blood. I thought it was less than this. Oh, big nut shot to Batista. Undetected. It was definitely detected by Batista. Triple H, a bloody mess. We look like we're getting pretty close to our finish here, yeah. He's going to Alabama slip. Nope. Oof. That was almost kind of like a white noise, sort of. Now he's doing the Ultimate Warrior shake the rope thing. Yeah, right. I'd be wearing a cup every damn night. Made of fucking titanium. Big Batista. And another thing about Batista, I didn't like his finish. I didn't care so much for the Batista bomb. I prefer just a regular power bomb. Sloppy pin. He thanked him. Squeezed his hand. I always look for the thank. Oh, good job, Batista. I mean, at least they're popping and reacting for this for the most part. It was predictable as all hell. Unleash the beast. Yeah, Batista, so what? He would get hurt, near the end of the year, right? So he was champion. Did he hold the title all the way until he forfeited it? Like I know he was champion when Eddie died. And then maybe shortly after that he got injured. Is that what happened? So he held the title that whole year, huh? Unless he dropped it in the summer and I forgot. Oh, now he's just going to rub it in his face. See, Triple H, if I can put him over about as much as you can put anybody over. Job clean as shit to him. He even cheated. Still lost. Oh, it was January 06, so he held the title that whole time? Wow. I guess I didn't think of that. That's a hell of a run. In my head, it just wasn't like that. But yeah, wow, almost a year. I know he would make the move to SmackDown during that, right? That would be the weird draft where Cena and him switched. That's incredible. All right. Well, that was fun. We're getting all these previews again. Unless they're going to show a... This seems all different, too. This is all edited. Yeah, this is not what it was. I have this taped right off of pay-per-view. Remember when I showed you that DVD earlier? I have this straight off of Time Warner Cable. Back in good old North Carolina. Wow. Well, anyway, I'm not going to watch this bullshit. So I appreciate you guys being here tonight. WrestleMania 21 was fun. We will do this again next Sunday. I will think about which one to do, and we will make that decision this week. I think WrestleMania 18 would be a good one to do. I'd like to go back a few years, though, and maybe talk about WrestleMania 14. I'd like to do WrestleMania 4. I'd like to do WrestleMania 3. So we'll give it some thought and talk about it this week. The plan for tomorrow is if Cody shows up on Raw, I will be up here to do a review. If Cody does not show up on Raw, I will not be doing a review, and I will be back for sure on Wednesday for Dynamite for the watch-along unless something major happens. I'm really hoping I don't have to do a Scott Hall video, but if something horrible happens there, I will probably be up to talk about that. Otherwise, you could see me at any time, so you better be a subscriber because I literally don't know when the next time you will see me will be. All I know is it will just be soon. That's all. So you guys take care. Have an excellent rest of your Sunday evening. Thank you for staying up late if you are on the East Coast, and I will catch you guys tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, or all three. Stay tuned. Take care.